Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnicky, and as always, I'm here with Matt Stewart and Jess Perkins.
Sup, you turds?
Oh, hello. Geez. Some sort of energy to bring to the show, but great to see you again, Jess Perkins and Dave Warnicky.
And to you. And to everyone at home, hello.
Oh, man, everyone at home, week 3 of Block. Can you believe it? We're right in the thick of Block now. We're waist deep.
Oh, yeah. Things are getting serious.
Yeah.
It feels right.
We're wading further and further into Block.
Into muck.
And by the end of November, we are going to be up to our freaking eyeballs and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Maybe even worse.
And then we got to get out.
Yeah, which is lucky because December drops a poll in and
Yeah.
brings us all back to safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm following.
Okay. Dave, explain what Block is for new listeners.
Blockbuster-tober, a.k.a. Block-Topher Grace Period, is Do Go On's month of months. And I do mean months because it used to just be October. Now it's November as well. It's been annexed as Blowvember. And basically, it's the time of year where we do our biggest, our bestest, our blockbusteriest topics. Matt put together a huge poll of our most requested topics and said, hey, what do you want to hear about? You can pick as many as you like. Thousands of people voted on this poll and only 9 competitors were left standing. We've already ticked off 2 of those. This is the 7th most voted for topic of Blockbuster-tober 2023. And as always, we do a report on a topic, and that's going to be the topic this week. It's number 7. It's Matt's turn to report on the topic. We always start with a question, Matthew. Any questions coming to mind?
Yeah, this one, I think you might find this one tricky, but let's see. This episode is kind of a sequel to episode 69.
Nice.
Do you remember what topic was covered way back then?
Of course. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And do you want to say it out loud?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I remember
You pleading
it.
the 5th?
I remember it, and I plead the 5th.
Episode 69.
I'm pleading the 69th, which is a way sexier response in court.
Oh, no, Cleopatra.
All right. Dave's had his guess. Jess, I'll give you a clue.
Yep.
It was about a world leader meeting his untimely demise.
Cleopatra.
A world leader. That wasn't... No, that... I don't know.
Can I have a second crack here?
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln.
That's right. But the topic, of course, that time was his killer.
Oh, yes.
I can't remember the name either.
William H. Macy.
John H. Macy.
Macy.
Stad John Wilkes Booth.
John Wilkes Booth, that's right. That was episode 69. I didn't realize it was so far back, but it was back at the original Stupid Old Studios, I reckon. No, it wasn't. It was the second one, I reckon. Doesn't matter.
Incredible. I would have said it was a bit more recent than that, but there you go.
Yeah. Anyway, this week's topic, as voted on by more than 27% of voters, Block voters.
And there was thousands of votes.
Thousands of voters. So more than 1 in 4 of those voters wanted this topic. The plot to steal Abraham Lincoln's body.
I forgot that was one of the options. Oh, my gosh.
So this has been suggested by a few people, including Lynn from Washington, Aaron Wolf from Daytona Beach, Megan Shivos Frazier from Pennsylvania, Jason Frey from Orlando, Florida, Kyle Haggerty from Wabash, Indiana in the United States, John Percy from Grand Rapids, Michigan in the US, and Allison B. Day from Leahy, Utah.
Allison Bidet.
Was Allison Bidet?
Bidet.
Like a bidet?
Allison Bidet.
No, Allison middle initial B.
Allison's B-Day?
Allison B. Day. She don't be night.
She don't be cray, she be day.
Yeah. So I think that'd be one of the rare times where every suggester is American.
Yeah, wow.
Because I'd never heard of
That's
this
because no one else cares about Lincoln.
Whoa.
No one else cares.
Whoa.
Speak for yourself.
I am. No one cares.
Did you, either of you know that Honor Sabe's body was once subject of a plot to...
No.
No, and I'd love to know, and you're going to tell us obviously, but at a guess, I'm imagining it's way back then, but imagine if it was like 5 years ago. We just didn't hear about it. Like they broke into his crypt or whatever he is.
He's mostly dust, but we're going to see what we can get.
I got him. I got the beard dust.
They go in with a dustbuster, a little vacuum.
Got him.
Suck him up. They suck him up.
They sucked up a president. Beautiful tribute.
To a beautiful man.
Beautiful man. Beautiful beard. As we learnt, was it on this show or Who Knew It with Matt Stewart, that he is inducted into the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's right. I think I was on that. We were on the episode where because he did some wrestling before he became president.
He was like almost unbeatable as a wrestler.
But he was tall and skinny, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Was he 9'10" or something? He's huge.
Was he 9'10"?
I think he might have been 9'10", 9'11".
But only that was his build height. They always exaggerated in the WWE.
Yeah. He's probably like 9'8".
They counted the top hat. So.
Yeah.
He wrestled in the top hat.
He can barely move because he's balancing a hat at all times.
It's funny. This is our second topic that looks at him in either his last days or after his last days. We still haven't talked about his life.
Nah, who cares? No one. That's
We could maybe one day finish the triptych with the prequel.
Not on my watch.
A flashback.
The life and times of Honest Abe.
Nah, not on my watch. Make sure that's one when I'm away, boys. Not bloody interested.
I'll stop you right there.
I don't know where this has come from, but I'm enjoying it.
I'm loving
it. Don't care about Abraham Lincoln. That is canon now.
One day Matt asked the question for his next topic. Which president? If it's Lincoln, you can fuck off.
If it's Lincoln, I'm leaving right now, mate.
Lincoln, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, I also don't care, but...
see how he tries to piggyback? See how he always does this?
You've got very strong legs. Imagine me trying to piggyback on Dave. He'd collapse.
You wouldn't make it.
I don't piggyback. I love Lincoln.
You're a Lincoln lover.
Yep.
See, at least he can form his own opinion,
Old
though.
Honest Abe.
What? Wait, and what, do we like that?
And do we like that about Dave? Or what do we think of Dave?
So I can't remember if I mentioned this on episode 69, but hours before Lincoln was assassinated, he signed the legislation that founded the Secret Service. Does that ring any bells? It didn't ring my bells.
No, but it feels like he probably could have got him in a little sooner. Because their job is to protect the president, right?
It is now, but at the time, the agency's original purpose was to combat the widespread counterfeiting of US currency.
Oh, wow.
And to restore public confidence in the money.
Right, but did they pivot when they saw their president 3 hours later was shot in the head?
Actually, currency shouldn't be our main focus.
Yeah, there's a real gap in the market over here.
Yeah, I think it was after maybe another president got knocked off that they finally went, hang on. Yeah, the money's nothing without the president.
There you go.
Which was beautiful for
That's
them.
actually so true, though, isn't it?
So true, so beautiful, so poignant.
Ugh,
Beautiful.
Yes.
But that's, when I think of Secret Service, I think secrets, I think whispers.
Yes.
I think, stolen glances from across the room.
No, you're thinking romance.
Think romance.
Unrequited love.
Yes.
Forbidden fruit.
Bananas.
Really big ones.
Really big bananas. Anyway, in the 1860s, the Secret Service was required because counterfeiting money was big business. It's believed that as much as half the US currency in circulation at the time was dodgy. Half. Some said a third, half, but like a lot of the money was fake money.
That's when I was in grade 6. They had this program every year at my primary school. I think it was called Earn and Learn. Did you have this? So basically, you picked a business that you wanted to start, and then there was currency given out at the start, and then you literally go out on Friday afternoons and I think I did a milkshake place where I had ice cream, had a milkshake maker, and then for $5 of the fake dollars, I'd do that. But then I'd go down the end of the street, and then on the basketball court, and there's a kid selling plants. You could put a plant on your desk, all this kind of stuff, and it worked great until one kid got a photocopier, and all the money was on coloured, like blue for 5s, green for 10s, whatever, and just photocopied like tens of thousands of dollars of fake money.
You're going over with a wheelbarrow. Yeah. All of a sudden, inflation's out of control.
Ruined the whole program. They had to shut the whole thing down because suddenly...
Was that his stall, the photocopier?
Yeah.
But that's the lesson.
Totally. I mean, that's life for you. So they put him in Erdeland jail. They put him in the stocks.
White collar.
Wow. And what's that kid doing now?
Probably some sort of multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
Not for long. Obviously, he will be in prison any day now, but God,
it's flying high. He's
living a great life.
He's got at least a Lamborghini for a while.
What was his name? Maybe just first name.
Jason?
So the Jason of the day in the 1860s was this guy called Ben Boyd, and he made these plates for fake money to be printed off, but he made the best in the business. According to Peggy Robertson, writing for American Heritage, Boyd was regarded by crooks and cops alike as the very finest of engravers and was the prime source of unauthorized money. One of his $5 plates was so perfect that over 300,000 bills were known to have been printed from it and passed without mishap by one gang alone.
Wow.
300,000 notes.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So you can understand how quickly the whole country would be flooded
And
with
this
this.
is when a house cost 18 cents.
Yeah.
Easy.
He bought the whole country.
And he's made 300,000 $5 notes.
Wow, that's an untold sum.
Yeah.
Maths hasn't even got to the stage where I could answer that.
No, it's like pi. The number just keeps going.
Agassiz?
Agassiz.
What do you call those things? With
Abacus.
Abacuses don't even count that high. Even abacuses.
The highest form of counting.
Abacuses.
So yeah, he's the guru of it, and that's one gang. So the system was kind of like you'd have on the ground they were called passers. So you'd have they were the front line, and they'd go in and put a couple of notes in at a time into shops and stuff. I'll buy
that house.
I'll buy that house. Here's a couple of notes. Here's your change.
Can I get? I'll get. You know what? The whole top shelf of houses. I'll have those.
Yeah, no worries. Where's my change? Well, you can have a garage for change.
Yeah, and then so these were individual gangs, but they were in different cities. So he's printing money out, and they're going out to all these different gangs, filtering out into the community. But he's making heaps and heaps of these notes. The Treasury of the United States ultimately realized these notes were so close to the real thing that they recalled their genuine $5 bills from circulation to combat it. They're like, basically, we can't compete with them, so we're just going to kill off that note as it is.
There's no more fives.
Yeah, I guess they changed it or whatever, but it's high praise.
Wow.
One of Boyd's collaborators, or perhaps his boss, depending on who you're reading, was a guy called Big Jim Kennelly. But I'll just call him Big Jim. Big Jim had previously been done for passing a dodgy note, which apparently led to him serving a 5-year term at the Illinois State Penitentiary. So they were cracking down on it pretty hard.
And do you get 1 year per
dollar? Yeah.
Wow.
Well, when you think about it, it's like stealing 500,000 houses.
That's a lot, Dave.
Yeah, for 5 years for 500,000 houses, that's a good deal. I'd say 5 years for 500,000 houses.
Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could serve 1 day to get one house, I'd prefer that.
Okay. All right.
I'd do a week.
Yeah, for 7 houses?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Can I choose where the houses are?
Yeah, you can also choose which week you do.
And you do the time in your houses.
Yeah, it's all house arrest.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That's not too bad.
That sounds quite nice. Where would I have my houses? Obviously, one in the city.
Oh, on the top shelf, I thought they were. Oh, then.
Where would the houses be?
Oh, you buy the house.
Yes, then you put it down somewhere.
Could I get that house to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they deliver, or you just chuck it in a bag?
I don't know.
Do you want me to wrap it? Is it a present or is it for you?
Do you need a gift receipt? Just in case you don't like it.
Just in case you don't like this house.
Not the right size house. You don't fit this house. So he's trying to stay out of trouble after getting out of the clink. He's done a 5-year stretch. Big Jim's out. Wants to stay out of trouble. So he sort of he tidies himself up a little bit, and he no longer is on the ground level. Instead, he hits the straight and narrow by being a counterfeit money wholesaler.
Oh, okay. Right. Practically.
Yeah.
Not
practically
not
clean as a
illegal.
whistle. Yeah. So he sells the notes made by Boyd's plates, those perfect plates. He sells them in bulk through his network out to the gangs who then pass them out on the streets. Unfortunately, though, for Big Jim, Boyd was arrested in 1875 and sentenced to 10 years behind bars. And this is his golden goose, basically. He's the guy who makes it all possible. He's the genius.
It feels like he should be doing 1.5 million years.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, the
10
sums
years.
don't add up, do they?
You get one note, you're 5 years. You've done all the notes, 10 years. What?
What's the system here? We don't have abacuses that go that high, okay? We've got 2 numbers at this stage.
10's the max.
This is the 1870s, goddammit. We got 5 or 10. According to Robertson, This left Big Jim and his network of printers, wholesalers, and passers virtually jobless. The prime Midwestern wholesaler of all those perfect counterfeit bills now had nothing to sell. You probably figure out why they call them passers. I think I didn't really look it up, but I assume it's because they'd pass the notes.
It's an interesting assumption you've made.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what would you?
I assume they're all somebody's hall pass.
Oh, yeah.
I misheard. I think you were saying pasta.
Pastors.
There you go.
Fuzzelli.
So never assume we're thinking the same as you. Because I can almost guarantee we're not. Hi, we're Jess and Dave, and we're idiots.
So Big Jim decided he somehow had to come up with a plan to get his man Boyd out of prison. It's like, what I got to do? How do you think he would have gone about it? I was thinking maybe like bribing a judge, audacious jailbreak.
I'm thinking jackhammer.
Yep.
Just straight through the wall.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
For a while.
Yep.
He's got to break through the whole wall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, great.
And then...
I thought you were clearing your throat.
You're really working yourself up for this.
That's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking, Dave?
I reckon probably like a fake heart attack.
Oh.
Get in the ambulance.
Get to the infirmary.
Yeah. They're about to load you. They're about to cremate you. Bang. You're out.
So Big Jim fakes the heart attack from outside of prison, or he lets Boyd know inside the prison to fake a heart attack?
Yeah. And then Big Jim also fakes a heart attack. So they're in the same ward together.
Oh, yeah. They're in the heart attack ward.
And you go, Big Jim, he doesn't sound that healthy. He's probably going to have another.
The heart attack ward.
Yeah. Perfect crime.
So have we nailed it?
No. Your ideas were ridiculous. Big Jim's plan was to steal Abraham Lincoln's decaying corpse and use it as leverage to trade for Boyd's freedom.
Oh, my God.
So it was like the topic of the report today.
It's also one of the most simple ideas. You know, sometimes the idea is so simple you wouldn't even consider it.
Yeah.
You go, it's too simple, but actually...
Steal the ex-president's body and hold it as a ransom.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, of course.
Yeah.
But that's so many people have probably done that. You wouldn't even bother. You know what I mean? It's a hack.
Yeah. But had they done it back then? I don't think they had.
There you go.
That's the genius
See, since
of
then,
it.
every president's body's been stolen, so it means nothing to us
It's become
anymore.
hack now.
Yeah.
But back then...
It was quite clever.
Yeah. He was decades ahead of his time. Well, let's go back to Abraham Lincoln and his death. So he was the 16th US president, and he was assassinated around 10 years prior to this on April the 14th, 1865. So they're not stealing some recent mint condition president body. He's going to be a little sloppy, I think. Although he was one of the first to pioneer embalming. He was like happy to be embalmed and stuff. So
right, so that's why they chose him. Maybe
they picked him. He was also nearby, I think. Right.
Proximity.
And yeah, he was a big star. He was like a pretty famous president.
Yeah.
Even then,
when there hadn't been as many.
Yeah.
Now there's been fucking heaps of them.
And is he the most famous one?
He'd be up there.
Yeah. Think of a president. Name a president, Dave. Name one now.
Quick.
Of America.
Ronald Reagan.
Ooh. Okay. Jess, name a president.
Obama.
Of anything. Okay.
Quick, Matt, name a president.
7.
Okay, president. Who's the 7th president?
Jim. Jim Simpson.
Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi was the 7th president? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of the Writers Guild.
Oh, okay.
Or something, maybe. I couldn't think of any presidents of anything. Andrew Plimpton. He was the Saints president in the 90s.
7th president, Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson. He's a famous one.
Yeah.
He was
and you called him Jim.
He was the guy I loved to jewel. I think he was in your episode of World's Worst Jewels, wasn't he, Dave?
He was. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
And he's on the $10 note, and he looks like Australian comedian Wayne Hope, if I'm thinking of the right guy.
Oh, wow. So you know quite a lot about Andrew Jackson.
Just not his name.
Or where he came in the scheme of things. Number 7, did you say?
Number 7.
Beautiful
Lucky
number.
7. Anyway, so Lincoln assassinated in 1865. We talked about this in quite a lot of detail in episode 69. So what happened to his body after that? According to the National Museum of American History, on April the 19th, 1865, so we're talking 5 days later, an estimated 25 million Americans attended memorial services for Lincoln in Washington and around the country. 25 million.
That's
That's
so
about
many.
around the current population of Australia. The US population at the time was 31 million.
Whoa! Everyone.
Yeah.
But they didn't have much on back then.
Imagine what the 6 million who just stayed at home or went to the shops must have had the best day.
Well, yeah.
They could have got a park anywhere.
Oh, man, you'd have everything to yourself.
Yeah.
I'd go straight to the water park.
Oh, yeah.
No rides for those slides.
No rides for those
No, hang
slides.
on. No lines
No
for the rides.
rides for those slides.
Am I right? Go to high five someone. No
No
one's
one
there.
there. No rides for those fives.
Oh, I'm losing it.
We never had it, but yeah, we are losing it early.
No rides for those slides. It's so
I know, because in my head I was like, God, I can't believe I'm coming up with this. This is amazing.
It rhymes and makes sense. What are the odds?
And then he paused and looked at me like I was an idiot. I was like, that's right. I did the rhyme. I'm that good. Huh. Okay.
There you go.
I fucked up.
The article on the National Museum of American History continues. Lincoln's body lay in state at the U.S. Capitol Rotunda and then travelled on a funeral train that retraced his route to Washington in 1861.
Route to Washington.
Route to Washington.
I've seen that one.
And it was 1,700 miles long. That's a long route.
Is that all? So they just chuck the body on a train and take it around and stop every now and then
Yep.
for people to have a look?
Exactly. Basically, they took it on a farewell tour.
That's so good.
You know, we talk about it a bit on this show that in the olden days they'd go out and see a train, but this makes some more sense.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily myself going to see
No.
a body,
But I need to know-
not too long ago, that line to see the Queen's body.
Yeah, but was this an open casket train? Could you see anything, or were you looking at a train knowing he's in there somewhere?
I think they brought the body off the train at a bunch of stops.
Imagine being the people loading him in and out.
Yeah, apparently in 10 cities, his casket was removed from the train for elaborate memorial services and public viewings.
Wow.
And newspapers published the train schedule so that citizens could pay their last respects as it passed. So if you went from one of the big towns, you could go by the railway line and just be like, bye, Link. That's
Thank
what
you.
his close friends might have called him.
Thank you,
Or
Link.
fans. His close friends probably weren't standing by the train tracks. The 9-car funeral train carried 300 guests.
What?
As well as the casket, obviously, to Springfield, Illinois. The funeral procession in New York lasted 4 hours and included an estimated 120,000 marches. That's a lot of marches. And that's a long parade.
Too long.
Is anyone watching? Everyone's in the parade. There's just one person waving it as 120,000 people walk past.
Yeah, you're the lucky guy on that day going, oh, everyone's at these memorials. Where am I going to go? I'm going to go watch that parade. And then on May the 3rd, 1865, the train reached its final destination in Springfield. And the following day, Lincoln's body was placed in its tomb. Apparently, the city of Springfield was keen to have the body at right in the middle of town, so that for tourism and stuff. But his wife's like, no, I don't want him in the middle of town. I want him on the edge of town. And they're like, started pushing for it. She's like, I'll take the body altogether. If you want the body, it's on the edge of town or nothing. And they're like, all right, put it on the edge of town.
Whoa. Put the coffin down. It's okay.
Hey.
That's so good.
Shh.
Hey, yeah, let's think about this.
Hey, Sugar Cube. I think she's a horse.
The pat in her big face.
Big long face. Hey, shh. That's a good girl. Who's a beautiful girl?
So I guess he was, there must be a reason why he was taken there, because he wasn't born there. He was born in Sinking Spring Farm in Kentucky.
Well, we know why he's not buried there. That's no longer there. It's sunk. It's gone.
Why?
The spring has
It's gone.
taken it.
Yeah.
Buried in Springfield. There's a lot of Springfields in America as well, aren't
Yeah.
there? Although this is according to AbrahamLincolnOnline.org.
I trust this website.
Abraham. Although Lincoln was born in Kentucky, grew up in Indiana, and served the nation in Washington, he was buried in Illinois, where he had developed strong community ties. 2 years before his assassination, he wrote, "Springfield is my home, and there, more than elsewhere, are my lifelong friends.
Oh, well, that's nice.
So their mates there. So that's nice that they ended up putting him there.
But didn't want to be in the centre of town.
Well, his wife didn't want to be in the centre of town. I guess didn't want to make it a circus, you know?
Oh, she didn't want to have to struggle to get a park every time she wanted to visit him.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare.
They're like, we could just bury him on a roundabout, and then you wouldn't have to park.
Yeah, you can just go around him.
Couple of laps.
Do laps of Abe.
Well, they don't like roundabouts. They like four-way stops. Could they put his body in the middle of a four-way stop?
When you say they, who are you talking about?
I think Americans.
Americans don't like roundabouts?
I think that they often have four-way. Isn't that a thing?
I don't know.
And you got to work out who gives way to who.
They're anti-circles? What? America.
They should bloody visit Canberra. Am I right?
One big bloody roundabout.
Bloody
More
roundabout city up there.
More like clowndabout. I learn about circles from Sesame Street. I feel like I've been sold a lie here.
I learned how to count to 12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Well, let's learn some more from bridalvehicleleasing.co.uk. Today it's estimated that there are 9,000 modern roundabouts in the US. Even though this is much more than they had in the 1990s, the UK has nearly 3 times as many despite being 40 times smaller.
Right, okay. So compared to the UK, but they're circle lovers over there.
And sorry, that was on a bridal car website?
Bridalvehicleleasing.co.uk.
It is hard to think of content. How do we get them in?
Well, here I am. They're the number one thing on Google when you Google USA roundabouts.
We're up to episode 416 and we're going okay. They're already down to roundabouts.
You've Googled...
How many episodes are they up to on bridal.com?
You've Googled, what did you Google? Roundabouts USA, and it's come up with a UK site.
Yeah, giving them a bit of sass.
For bridal vehicles.
Their website is so big. We have great internet here at the studio. It's been loading their homepage for about 2 minutes.
Wow.
That's how many blogs they've covered every.
It's not BRIDAL.
Oh, what is it? Oh, it's just a company.
It's just a company.
Oh, I thought it was. I was thinking it was a wedding company.
Cars.
Is it not?
No, well, that would be BRIDAL.
Oh, you're right. It's spelled like a horse's bridle.
Oh, okay.
Man, I remember all that laughing I was just doing. I take it all back.
Still feels a little bit irrelevant.
It's a bit irrelevant. It was even more irrelevant when it was, wedding cars.
Dave, don't turn your computer around again, mate.
Yeah. Don't you ever do that to me again. That was so fun.
Let just dream.
Let me dream.
Let her dream of a world where
have fun.
People run a website hiring out cars to brides.
Just brides.
And also giving facts about other countries.
Well, it says that they only got their first modern roundabout in 1990. Is that possible?
Well, modern roundabout. Maybe they don't see 80s roundabouts as being modern. Depends on what they mean by that.
First grunge roundabout.
Yeah.
Came through.
Seattle. Anyway, so
bridal. I didn't even notice. Love it.
So Lincoln's now on the edge of town in Springfield, Illinois. That's where his friends were, and that's now where his corpse is. And it was from this final resting place that Big Jim would aim to steal the presidential remains. According to Robertson, it isn't surprising that he came up with this plan. At the time, body snatching was endemic in rural America, with local resurrectionists digging up recently interred bodies for surreptitious sale to medical schools. And because of this, the bereaved frequently stood guard at the graveside for weeks after a burial.
For weeks?
Not normally for 10 years, like they would have had to in this case.
But they're thinking you do it for weeks until you're like, they're pretty gross in there.
Yeah.
No one wants this.
No one wants to cut this up.
I know they want to steal a freshie.
Yeah.
But imagine you're at medical school doing sort of learning about stuff, and then you're doing an autopsy and you're like, is that Abraham Lincoln? I think that looks like Abraham Lincoln.
I can't tell without the hat.
Quick, put the hat on.
Get me a big hat.
Get a hat. Oh my God, that's
it's
him.
Fucking Lincoln.
Oh my God. But to be fair, if I put the hat on this other dead body, now that looks like
Lincoln.
We've got 2 Lincolns.
What are the odds of that in our little establishment?
Wow.
And now that place is called 2 Lincoln's Cadaver Workshop.org, and you can visit it. So Big Jim set about putting together a ragtag team of misfits and ne'er-do-wells for the job.
I love a ragtag bunch.
In early 1876, he organised Ben Sheridan, or if you read a different article, Thomas Sharp. anyway. He organised some guy, and one of his, who was one of his counterfeiting agents, to lead the team. Appropriately, Sheridan was from nearby Lincoln, Illinois. The plan was to snatch Lincoln's body from its tomb in Springfield, then hide it south of Lincoln until a ransom of $200,000 was paid and Boyd was released from prison. So they've upped the ante. We want Boyd out, but while we're here,
well, might as well get some cash.
Cash. Big Jim paid for Sheridan and 4 of his gang members to head to Springfield a few weeks prior to prepare. Apparently, they were meant to be setting up a saloon bar in a building Big Jim had rented as a base. I didn't fully follow the logic there, but it sounds like a lot of the preparation ended up being the gang just getting on the drink. And perhaps unsurprisingly, this led to some issues. According to Robertson, they planned to move on the night of July 3rd, just the night before July 4th. And I think maybe that was part of the plan. Everyone's distracted. We hit them then. Was 4th of July already a thing in the 1870s?
I mean, you're saying that to us.
Definitely, that date existed in the 1870s.
Okay, good. I can't remember when July was invented.
I think it was from memory, it's like the 1840s. So it was new, but it was definitely...
It was already a thing, yep. Great.
Well, 1777.
So it's almost the 100-year anniversary of...
Well, it's so
Did
funny.
they celebrate the 99-year anniversary? I wonder.
Yeah. I was going to read some more and I thought, this is boring.
What are we going to read?
So it's funny that this is from PBS, History of Independence Day. July 8, 1776 was the first public readings of the Declaration of Independence, held in Philadelphia's Independence Square. But then...
Sorry, I fell asleep.
I'm feeling wide awake, Dave. I'm energized. I have my own opinion on this one. Yes, Dave? Do go on.
Oh, I poured myself over here. I was going to say 1 year later. Well, it's not 1 year later. It's July 4th, 1777. It's like 4 days shy of a year since it was read. Philadelphia marked Independence Day by adjourning Congress and celebrating with bonfires, bells, and fireworks. So I guess it was adopted on the 4th of July, but they read it on July the 8th, and nearly a year later, they're like, all right, well, let's have some.
Right. That's interesting. I assumed something happened on that date, and something did. They decided to start having the 4th of July.
Yeah.
They set off some fireworks.
So it had been a thing for quite a while at this point then. So the plan was for it to happen on July 3rd, but with just 2 weeks to go, Sheridan succumbed to temptation. Touring Springfield's brothels, he confided in one of his hostesses that his little band was going to, quote, steal old Lincoln's bones, collect a ransom, and spend the proceeds in the ladies' establishment. She told the sheriff, and the next morning, through a monumental hangover, Sheridan learned of his indiscretion. Big Jim Keneally washed his hands of the gang, and Ben Sheridan was professionally disgraced. So I think he might have found it hard to get work in the underground after that.
So he's kind of gone into it thinking that, like doctors, sex workers had a confidentiality.
Oh, yes.
Doctor-patient.
And they don't.
Like a lawyer.
They can fucking tattle all they like.
Back then, especially.
Do psychologists have that?
I think psychologists are doctors, aren't they?
No.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Is my psychologist telling everybody about me?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
That doesn't need to. They're broadcasting it.
That would imply that it was interesting.
Yeah. The things that I've heard on your psychologist podcast about you.
What?
Wow.
Well, it's mainly about me and Dave, and it's not good.
Yet you refuse to change. You've heard how I feel, and yet you do nothing.
Man, I'm trying. Not very hard.
Not hard at all.
So the first plan came unstuck before it even really began.
Just keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yeah.
No, sorry, that was to you.
Okay.
But it always happens. We've had so many stories where they've gotten drunk and told someone.
I mean, when you have a great idea, it's hard to keep it to yourself.
It's sort of like when you buy somebody a great gift and you're really excited to give it to them.
Oh, I got you a great gift.
Yeah, you just can't. You're like, oh, I want to tell you what it is.
But it's funny as well because I'm going to get a lot of money. I'm going to spend it here.
Yeah.
You're about to get some money from me.
And she's like, I'm going to go tell the sheriff.
After you do what?
Yeah.
Steal a 10-year-old deceased president?
That sounds pretty full on, dude.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, no, the president wasn't 10-year-old. You've said that funny. And she went, well, you know what I mean. The president wasn't 10 years old, but he's been dead for 10 years old, and his body is 10 years old.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And it was that sort of sass
Yeah.
that pushed her over the edge.
She was like, you know what? Fuck this guy.
I'm going to the sheriff.
I don't need your bony money.
Yeah.
And then she went to the bedroom, one bedroom across where
Yeah.
the sheriff was,
Yeah.
and said, Sheriff, got
Sheriff,
some news.
I hope you don't mind me interrupting. It is important.
I've got to interrupt this bone with news of Lincoln's Bones. That would be a great name for a brothel.
Lincoln's Bones?
No, I wouldn't.
Or we interrupt
that.
this bone.
We interrupt this bone.
I mean, that's what you just said.
That almost works on one level, almost.
Lincoln's Bones.
Lincoln's Bones. I think that's classy. I think it subtly suggests what it's up to.
Lincoln's bones. Lincoln's moans.
Oh, but now it doesn't have bones in it. I think it should be moans and bones.
Oh, moans and
Cut
bones.
the Lincoln.
Presidential moans and bones?
Yeah.
Because I think it's the president. The Lincoln's alluding to the president.
Happy
which I think is
birthday,
what makes
Mr.
it.
President Moans and Bones.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
They also serve cake.
Are we going into business?
I think yes.
Okay, fantastic.
And let me tell you, we're going to be rich.
So the plan came unstuck, but Big Jim was not deterred. He still had dreams of stealing.
He's like, it's the only way to get my friend out of prison. I will not consider any other alternative.
No, I will not hire a good lawyer. I will continue to try to steal the president's bones.
It's such it's so indirect as well.
Yeah.
Even if you're able to get the body, then you've got to somehow make this exchange.
Yeah.
What are the odds that you can do that without them figuring out it was you?
Yeah.
And Boyd, do they go, yeah, all right, we'll swap. Boyd's exonerated, no worries.
Yeah, we promise once your guy's out, we won't touch him.
Yeah, and you think he's just going to go back to being able to print money for you?
Do you also think they care that much?
About
Lincoln's Bones?
Oh, yeah, they care.
Okay.
Oh, they care. That's why they leave him basically unprotected at his tomb.
On the outskirts of town.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
They're much better protected these days, I'll tell you that.
Imagine being the Secret Service and your job is just to hang out at a grave.
Oh, does every president have Secret Service agents at their graveside at all times?
Oh, I wonder. Yes.
Right.
Surely not.
Well, it's a secret. I can't say.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Secret Service.
Okay.
But they have Secret Service forever.
Yeah, that's true. You know, presidents.
And forever it goes beyond death, so.
Yeah.
You know, they're not allowed to drive on the road after they're president.
Really? Where can
Yeah.
they drive? In the paddocks?
Well, apparently George W. Bush Jr. has big.
Got him.
Sorry, I'm nerding out over here, so I didn't hear anything he said. George W. Bush takes he goes full driving on his ranch in Texas because it's not a private road. But whenever they're on the road, they've got the Secret Service stunt driver, in case they come under attack and do
Right.
evasive maneuvering and things like that.
So you can't even just drive yourself to the shops.
You can't do that anymore. You give that up.
I thought that was just because US presidents are always really old.
Yeah.
And they probably shouldn't be
shouldn't have a
driving
driver.
anymore.
I'm sorry, sir.
We're
You are-
taking your keys.
Give him little fake toy keys, for kids.
Yeah,
There you go. Hey,
Yeah, play with them.
get in the passenger
Yeah,
seat.
yeah. No, you're driving from the left-hand side.
Yeah, good job.
I mean the right-hand side.
Yeah, it's got one of those little fake.
The Simpsons,
Yeah,
Maggie style.
that's nice.
So he's not deterred. Still dreaming of the body snatch. And Big Jim starts heading out to Chicago, commuting out there to have meetings with some of his counterfeiters in the Windy City. They had a branch office in a bar called The Hub on West Madison Street. So yeah, he's got little branches everywhere.
Well, having a little office isn't.
Isn't it funny? At a pub, they had their own room in there, their headquarters. Very strange. It was a real dive bar, though, and was run by a 27-year-old named Terrence Mullen. He's one of the key players here. And the other notable guy who comes up throughout the rest of the stories was a regular named Jack Hughes. Hughesian Mullen.
Jack Hughes.
They become a bit of a dynamic duo.
Matt. J'accuse.
J'accuse.
Accuse.
Is that a French web song? Is that like accuse?
Like I accuse.
J'accuse. His name. Oh my god!
That's very
If I knew
good.
French, I would have got it.
Well, that's what
I just thought you said the name again.
I said j'accuse.
2 terms of lessons get you, baby.
God, he's good.
You are so good. Of J'accuse, Robinson writes, he was an outstanding passer of phony bills, a thoroughly honest-looking man, respectably bearded, and always well-dressed. He spent his working day going from store to store, making one small purchase at each, and paying for it with a crisply persuasive counterfeit bill. If his currency was ever questioned and the police were called, no case could be made because he had never had more than one bad bill in his possession. His working supply trailed along a full block behind him, usually in the form of a small boy whose pockets were stuffed with bogus cash. After each stop, he would sidle up and slip Hughes another bill.
Wow.
So they had a really good system going there.
Little cash boy following you around.
Come along, cash boy.
And if the cash boy got done, 10 years in the
Who
slammer.
cares? He's like, here you are, sir.
Another $5 for you, sir.
Here's 10 bob for you, sir.
It sounds like his greatest skill in being good at this was that he just looked respectable.
Okay.
So you guys couldn't do it?
No.
Oh, hang on.
Well, back then I said he had a beard. Back then beards were respectable.
No, what did he say about the beard?
Respectably bearded.
There you go.
Oh, it's a very specific kind of beard.
You are not respectably bearded.
I gotta get a trim.
You are fucking
I'm gonna go to a barber's and say,
bushranger bearded. You are.
can you make me respectable, son?
Yeah. And they'll say,
I don't know why
I'm not
I
a fucking magician.
That's intimidating,
And
man.
Dave over here is, teenage boy pube bearded.
There's nothing more respectable than a teenage pube boy.
We could be the duo. You could be trailing me behind with a
Yeah.
It's $5.
I'm more
pockets full
likely
of
to be.
dodgy notes.
And then what happens? So he goes to the milk bar. I hand you $5, and you go in and buy like one pack of juicy fruit or something.
Get some
You
change.
can't really buy
So
that
is
much.
that the point of it, to like get the change, get the
I guess so,
legit
yeah.
money?
Yeah, and I guess you're trying to buy things that are of value as well, and you could sell them or whatever for real money. Don't know, but the odds are you'd be getting paid in dodgy money as well back then. by the sounds of
Yeah,
it.
and also just like you just have money now. If they're passing,
Yeah,
this,
that's right. If they're so good,
just use the money.
but the only problem is you can say, oh, you've got like deniability.
Yeah.
You go, I was given this, I didn't know. But if you've got only dodgy notes
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
find you, then you get done.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoa. That dodgy kid out there gave it to me.
That's
Yeah,
why he's
yeah.
got the cash boy.
Arrest the cash boy. I
Arrest
mean,
that cash boy, which is the term I've only just come up with.
I've never met that cash boy before in my life.
So he was really good at it, but apparently sometime in September 1874 in Washington Heights, Illinois, something went wrong and Hughes was arrested by Secret Service agents and indicted for passing 5 counterfeit bills.
Whoa.
So his system fell apart a
Oh,
bit.
no.
And he went to the clink. But yeah, it's funny to think about the Secret Service back then. That was what they were doing, just trying to catch like these petty criminals, basically. So anyway, as we meet him now at the hub, he's out on bail. This is, a year and a half later, something like that. And this is where Big Jim starts to pull together his second crew of body snatchers into the second half of 1876. Big Jim, Mullen the bartender, and Hughes the counterfeit passer. They're the main 3, and they regularly met at the hub to develop a plan. And according to Robinson, this is how the plan went down, or how it was planned to go down.
This was the plan.
This was the plan. Oh my God, you are eloquent.
I cut out the middle plan there.
Quote, they would meet in Springfield, steal Lincoln's body. Bang,
Easy.
bang.
Yep.
No
Step 1,
explanation
step
on
2.
how they do that bit, but that's cool.
Don't worry about
Bada
it.
bing, bada bang.
Whatever.
Then they'd load it onto a wagon and using a relay of horses, speed it some 200 miles to the sand dunes bordering the southern tip of Lake Michigan, just southeast of Chicago. There they would bury the body, carefully triangulating the site against permanent landmarks so that they could find it again in the ever-shifting sands, and then wait for the government to meet their demands. How good is this plan?
They're putting it in sand dunes,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just going, okay, so like there's a tree, 4 steps away from that tree.
Yeah.
Done.
They're going, all right, there's a bit of sand here, so next to the sand,
Yeah.
And next to that other bit of sand.
So just remember, between these two bits of sand.
Yeah, the sand in the middle of these two bits of
Not
sand.
2 bits. They're triangulating. I think that's 3 bits of sand.
3 bits of sand. It's a third bit of sand.
I hope they're not counting sand as a permanent landmark. But these guys were bozos, I got to say. So I wouldn't put it past them. Also, the permanently shifting sands, that sounds like a thing that wouldn't be a good place to bury something.
Yep.
If the sands are shifting off the top.
How deep do you have to go?
Yeah.
Probably just to the Earth's core.
Yeah. It's a few
Easy.
100 kilometres.
Yeah.
Here's another ingenious part of the plan. Inside the tomb, they would leave behind a piece of paper torn from the front of the Catholic Union and Times, which was published in England. This newspaper was so rare in Chicago that the police would surely file it away as a clue. The rest of the front page would be hidden at the hub. It would be used to identify Big Jim and company as the genuine kidnappers when the time came to announce their demands. $200,000 in cash and the release of Ben Boyd.
Oh, that's pretty clever. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty clever. It's funny. It's like going. You're hoping that the cops go, oh, we'll keep this as a.
Yeah.
When I read it at first, I thought they were framing up someone.
Yeah.
Must have been someone from England.
Framing themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were.
I always would put like something in his pocket. Like they say, prove you're the kidnapper. All right, check his pocket. There's a couple of dice in there.
But they've got the body, right?
Oh, yeah.
Who are they prove? Wait, hang on.
But
Wait, how do the police...
Yeah, hang on. No, because I thought the police were going to find the body and then they were going to prove that it was... But
if they find the body, they don't need to pay them anything.
No, they're not finding the body. They're finding the paper they left behind in the tomb.
Ah,
so they
it's
left
in
a bit
the
of
tomb.
newspaper behind
I
in
thought
the
it was
tomb.
inside the coffin.
Oh, no, sorry.
Same.
And then... But in my head, and I guess your head too,
Yeah.
Jess, when the police find the body, then they'll know we stole it, and to thank us, they'll give us our 200.
And if they give us the money and release Ben, then we'll give them back the body they've just found.
But you could have just put anything in the tomb, like I'm saying, like you just put like a red basket,
Yes.
A red ball,
Yeah.
and then say, yeah, it's us. What did we leave? We left a red ball.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know.
What did it smell like in there?
I'm glad you qualified
that.
I get anxious. I get anxious when I'm stealing presidents' bodies.
Huh?
So apparently, Big Jim and Jacques Hughes, were happy with Boyd's release and the cash. They're like, that's all we need. But Mullen apparently got obsessed with the idea that the body snatching would also win the criminals, quote, the respect of the American people.
Wow. Okay.
It's like, we got a good shot at the cash and maybe even releasing our friend from jail. Respect is a little bit harder to... We're going to hold the body until you respect us.
No, I want to genuinely feel it.
You're putting it on.
Don't just say you respect me.
Show me.
Go on.
Go on.
Do a little dance.
Yes, a respectful dance.
That's ridiculous.
One problem they faced was that none of them had any experience in the gentle art of stealing bodies. But as luck would have it, a new regular at the bar named Lewis Swaggles did.
Swaggles.
He came in, he's like, you're talking about stealing a body? And because at the time, grave robbery was pretty common. So he's like, yeah, I've got a heaps of experience grave robbing. You need a grave robber? Come to Swaggles.
And again, last time it all went wrong because they told an outsider about the plan who then
Yeah.
went and told the cops. Again, some guy walks into the bar they're like, hey, we're planning on stealing Abraham Lincoln's body. Can you help?
I think he came in, he was coming in as a bit of a regular for a while before. They started to warm to him and then...
He's absolutely a grass, this guy. Undercover. I think that he might be a narc.
What? Swaggles?
That is not a real name.
Swaggles? A narc? I've heard it all.
You freaking narc, Swaggles.
Hughes and Mullen, they like the cut of his jib, in part because of his exploits as a grave robber. And they're like, we don't understand that. So it'd be good to have someone who knew what they were doing. Which feels like maybe one of the first things.
Yeah.
If Big Jim's putting together a team of grave robbers,
Maybe get a grave robber.
I'd reckon get a grave robber.
He's got a crack team. I've got a guy.
I've got a bartender. You can pour drinks. So the after party's sorted. We've got a guy who can pass fake notes.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, we got the Cash Boy.
Yeah.
We got a
Come on,
cash boy.
That could come in handy.
And I'm Big Jim.
I'm not going to go there in person, but I wish you all the best. So yeah, they like Swaggles because obviously he filled a need for them. But also they were impressed by his connections to better known crooks of the day. He would drop names into the conversation like, oh, if you're in with these guys, you must be pretty good. By November, Swaggles was such a key member of the crew that they were now meeting at his house. Unfortunately for Big Jim and the boys, Swaggles wasn't who he seemed.
You're kidding me.
A month earlier, the Secret Service had received a tip-off about the plot, and Chicago Bureau Chief Patrick D. Tyrrell then recruited Swaggles to infiltrate the gang. Real name. And he swiftly did that.
Swaggles is his real name.
Real name, I believe.
And were they meeting at his real house?
Yeah.
So he really was a grave robber?
No.
Oh.
So they knew that they needed...
Yeah.
So they're going to rob a grave. Go in.
Order a whiskey and then loudly say, yep, just knocking off after a hard day of stealing bodies. I'm an expert.
Ooh.
I know all the crooks.
Let me tell you, robbing graves is not an easy job. Well, it is for me. I'm very, very good at it. But boy, oh boy, for people who don't know what they're doing, it is pretty tough.
But I've got a big gap in my schedule coming up.
It's good to have a bit of downtime, but I guess if there was some work to come up, I wouldn't say no.
I'm supposed to do a big job, a big presidential job.
Yeah.
Anyway, another whiskey. Oh, what are you guys up to? Got much going on?
Sorry, were you guys eavesdropping on me just then? How rude.
That's a bit rude. Anyway, Swaggles the name.
Grave robbing's the game.
Real name.
You want to come round for a cuppa at my place?
Yeah. Gardner Robertson, contemporary accounts vary wildly, but Swaggles apparently had been a seaman, then probably...
Sorry.
We all have.
Yeah, it's like, all right. All right, mate, we've all been a seaman.
You're definitely padding out your resume if you're writing that down. You're going back a bit far.
Before that, I was a glint to my father's eye, and...
the list goes on. I've also done a bit of bookwork.
People putting their primary school captain on their resume. You're a grown adult.
Oh, yeah.
Not talking to anyone in particular.
Well, note to self, I have to remove mine as well.
So yeah, it was a seaman, then probably a petty crook, but by 1876, he was well launched on a career as a professional informer or roper for the Secret Service.
Wow. He was professionally undercover.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just full time, so they pay him by the job.
Yeah.
Roper's fun. A roper seaman, he was, I guess, in some ways. Robertson goes on. Swaggles started hanging out at the hub, and he would report to the Secret Service. So the things we know about this story is because he's like on the phone every day or going in and telling them what's happened. And he later said, "I got myself up in their minds, not by praising myself, but my friends, Frenchie the burglar, Bill Ray, and others. I had a letter from Frenchie, who was in Michigan City Penitentiary. They thought I was a first-class man, or I would not be known to such men." So they were convinced by a letter.
He's like,
here's a letter.
Here's a letter of recommendation from my friend Frenchie the burglar.
It's so funny. So Swaggles would report daily to Tyrrell, and then Tyrrell passed the information on to the chief at the Secret Service. Based on Swaggles' intel, on the 5th of November, Tyrrell told his boss that the gang feels, quote, confident of success, saying that if they do get caught, it is only 1 year in jail, but if they succeed, Ben will be liberated. And this is true. I think grave robbing at the time was just a 1 year penalty, which is so funny when one of them's done 5 years for dodgy notes.
Yeah.
But stealing a president.
Fine.
You get 1 year.
I guess, yeah.
Maybe if it's like stealing a regular body, a normie body.
Yeah, okay.
A president, it should be like 18 months.
18 months, yeah. You got a 50%
yeah.
fee on top.
Yeah.
Presidential loading.
President tax, yeah. Loading made more sense. Robertson continues. The next day, Tyrrell reported to Washington that Swaggles had told them that the attempt to steal the body would be made the following night, November 7, Election Day. So, again, they're doing it on a day that they know is going to be busy with celebrations and whatnot, which they called, the criminals, Mullen and Jacques, they called a damned elegant time to do it, according to the Thieves. They were Irish Americans. I don't know why I'm doing an English accent, but anyway, Just feels right.
Oh, damned elegant. Okay.
According to Thomas R. Turner, writing for the Abraham Lincoln Association, they liked Election Day as, quote, liquor would be flowing freely. There would be crowds of farmers with wagons, and one more wagon with a package on the back would not attract undue attention. It's just another wagon with a package on the back.
Just another you driving off a cliff.
Yeah. The plan's gone awry. There's a top hat sticking out the top, though. They're like, normally wagons don't have a top hat on the back.
That is weird.
That's weird, but man, it's the election day.
Yeah. Crazy things will happen on election day.
Yeah. Wagons like to dress up.
They have respect.
The horses are also wearing top hats. I don't know.
Everybody looks quite dapper.
Well, they look damned elegant, to be honest. Terrell then met with Robert Lincoln. Yes, a relation to the president. It's his son, and Elmer Washburn. And Washburn was previously the chief of the Secret Service. The current president had sacked him the week before because he thought he wasn't to be trusted. But
wow,
right, because all he's doing is protecting the old president's body.
Yeah.
What about my body?
Yeah,
I'm still here.
Come
I'm
on.
right here.
So they chatted and decided that Tyrrell probably needed a bit of help in foiling the plot. So extra men were recruited for the cause. According to Robertson, Tyrrell and Washburn called on Alan Pinkerton, head of the famed Pinkerton National Detective Agency. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
I hadn't, but apparently they're quite a famous detective agency, and they hired two of their operatives, John C. McGinn and George Hay. And during the afternoon, they enlisted two more helpers, John McDonald, a detective from the Illinois Humane Society, and John English, who had been Washburn's private secretary when he headed the Secret Service.
Wow,
so it
Johnny
feels like
English.
He's put together his own ragtag band.
Yeah.
Feels like now you just be like, all right, we'll have some of the officers from our department. But there you have to he just put his own band together. Of the Pinkertons, Kyle Haggerty, one of the topic suggesters, he said, these guys were involved in saving President Lincoln and providing Lincoln with bodyguards. So this is while he was still alive. They also warred with Jesse James and guarded the coffin of Marilyn Monroe. At one point, they were larger than the US Army. They were also spies, and they hired the first female detective. Oh, and one last thing, their founder became a detective by accident. Anyway, that sounds like a great topic in itself. I was almost going to do a side report in the middle there, and then I'm like, that sounds like enough for a full report.
Yeah.
So someone remind me of that.
Great instinct there.
Maybe you, Kyle Haggerty. I'm just saying, I was looking into the middle distance for a second there, Kyle. But if my gaze met yours,
then so be it.
Then so be it.
If my gaze met yours.
Anyway, at 9 p.m. on the 6th of November, two separate groups boarded the train from Chicago, Windy City, to Springfield. One was Agent Tyrrell with his lawmen, and in another carriage sat Hughes, Mullen, Swaggles, and a new recruit named Billy Brown, who was going to drive the getaway wagon. I love the getaway wagon. It's fun. But it's so funny that they're going, we're going to do this great crime. It's going to be so good. And the guys are just following them literally on the same train.
Yeah.
We're going to meet them there to stop them doing it.
It's easy.
Which they obviously could have done at any point, but I think they wanted to catch them in the act. It makes, it's hard to deny when you're caught.
Makes charging them easier.
Yeah. Jeez, you help me put sentences into fewer
I
words.
help you get through the fucking day.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
You'd be an absolute mess without me.
I mean, I am still.
I call him at 7 a.m. I say, okay, Matt, get out of bed. 1 foot at a time, mate. Okay, off to the shower, he just can't do anything.
I say to Jess, how do I put my pants on again? And you say, just like everyone else does, one leg at a time.
Yeah. He still fucks it up.
Yeah. I jump in. 2 legs in a one hole.
He's a mess.
It's a nightmare. So yeah, they're on the same train, separate carriages.
That's good. Privacy.
And their getaway driver, Billy Brown, he was recruited by Swaggles.
Oh.
And so the supposed criminal getaway driver, Billy Brown, was actually Swaggles' non-criminal friend, Bill Neely.
Bill Neely.
Bill Neely.
Billy Neely.
Billy Neely. That's a beautiful name.
That is really nice.
That is really nice.
Billy Neely.
Billy Neely.
I love it.
I love it too.
I love it more.
Amazing. It's actually blown my mind.
Yeah, Dave. We lost Dave for a bit.
Yeah. He was looking into the middle distance, and then his gaze met mine by coincidence.
Willy-nilly.
Billy Nilly.
Wow.
That's good stuff.
According to Robertson, the train arrived at Springfield at 6 a.m. on Election Day, and Tyrrell and his aides checked into the St. Nicholas Hotel. At 8:30, Swaggle showed up to inform Tyrrell that Mullen and Hughes, that's Jacques Hughes,
Yes.
were registered at the nearby cafe, that's not right, at the nearby St. Charles Hotel and had left a call for 10:30 a.m. I'm hungry.
They've registered for a croissant and a small coffee.
That's what they used to call ordering.
That was nowhere near the word cafe there. St.
Cafe.
Oh. While the plotters slept, the detectives checked out the monument, accompanied by the president of the Lincoln Monument Association and the monument custodian, a man named J.C. Power, which is a fantastic name.
Jesus Christ Power.
It does feel like the name of one of those real American-style preachers.
Yeah.
I'll
J.C.
heal you.
Power.
J.C. Power. Come see J.C. Power. In mid-afternoon, Swaggles and Jack Hughes also inspected the tomb and worked out last-minute details of the upcoming night's work. Mullen had worried that it might be impossible to break into the heavy sarcophagus, but Hughes came away bubbling with optimism, saying, well, I could kick it open. I could fall against it and open it. He's just like, this thing's, it's paper mache in there.
Flimsy.
How does he know? Has he had a look at it and sort of done a bit of...
Yeah, I think so. Just done a few taps. Yep.
That's plywood.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Yep.
Such a bit of cloth.
Yeah, what do you got here? What's that?
Yeah, he's under...
Was that some sort of timber?
He's under a sheet.
Easy.
He's in
Almost
a Ziploc
too
bag.
easy.
Yeah, but Mullen, like, they came out of it with the total opposite feeling. So Jacques Hughes is the guy going, yeah, I'm into it. This is easy, too good. Mullen, the guy's like, I'm mainly in this to win America's respect. He's like the opposite. He's going,
It's too hard.
this isn't going to work. We're going to need more tools. And he's like, we need an axe. So we went and stole an axe.
Okay.
Just go to Bunnings.
Well, where do you think he stole the axe from?
Oh, you wanted to buy an axe? What,
Yeah.
what with some sort of fake currency?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the cash boy?
It'll cost you 18 cents.
Well, I guess that's the problem. Boyd's gone away, so their supply of notes is probably running out if it hasn't already. And yeah, like I said, we know all these intimate details because Swaggles, they're saying that Swaggles hearing it, then he's going to report it. And so they get like these. You'd never hear these things from a heist like this.
Yeah.
But we're hearing like direct quotes. Well, I could kick it open. I could fall against it and it would open, which is great. Imagine we didn't have that.
Maybe Jacques Hughes just was really into martial arts. Had a very powerful kick.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
And a very powerful fall.
I could kick something open.
Yeah.
Can of Pringles.
Well, you said to me, while Dave was in the John or something, you came and you said, what would you do if I'd kick this door down?
Yeah.
So it's something you think about often.
Constantly.
You're always thinking about kicking things down.
Yeah. The patriarchy mostly.
I was thinking the same. It's so good. You are. And you do.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day. It's just my existence.
Which is so exhausting when I have to put it back up again.
Every day.
Every day.
I have to reassemble the patriarchy because Jess has kicked it down
As
again.
a feminist, I just think fair's fair.
Yeah.
We don't want to take the patriarchy down that
Every
way.
day.
So Robertson's still talking here. I appreciate it. This article or this story written by Robertson is older than you two. She wrote it in 1982.
Wow.
Not older than me. I was born in the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Or whenever it was. The
You're
wind.
as old as the wind.
I'm as old as Chicago, the Windy City. About 4:45 p.m., Swaggles managed once again to slip away to bring Tyrrell up to date on the counterfeiters' activities. At 6 o'clock, Swaggles left to meet his fellow grave robbers and to assure them that he'd just seen Billy Brown, the very real getaway driver he organised. And he said, yep, all's going to plan.
Billy's good to go.
Billy's good to go. He'll be there.
He filled up the horses.
The horses are full of unleaded.
He cleans the windscreen wipers on the horses.
He's like, he's starting to get, he's like, oh, bring it down. His brain's going, bring it down, mate. Bring it down,
Chill
Swags.
out. Chill out.
Chill,
You're doing
come
well.
on.
Just play cool. Play cool.
But in truth, Billy Brown, aka Billy Nilly, never even made it to Springfield. After being introduced to the gang on the train, he slipped off just outside of Chicago. It's like, yeah, I'm real. We'll see you there. I'm going to go have a nap, I guess, in the other carriage. And he just jumped off. And I don't understand how they didn't notice that, but...
Why introduce him at all then?
Just to prove that he's real.
Okay. Sure. I guess you want to meet somebody that you're going to work with on a big heist.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. You never need to see him again, but you want to meet him once.
Yeah, it feels like you'd take him with you for the journey.
Yeah.
Maybe you charge by the hour.
He had other places
Billy Nilly. He was in hot demand. Soon after nightfall, Tyrrell and the other lawmen arrived at the memorial. One of the men, John English, fantastic name.
Johnny English.
Do you think Johnny English, the character, was based on him?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So Johnny English had the job of notifying Tyrrell as soon as he heard the robbers making noise in the burial chamber. So they positioned him. Apparently when they got there, the custodian of the tomb took them all in like a elephant file, or whatever you call it, holding hands through the darkness of the tomb till he took them to a spot where like, all right, we can put a light on in here and they won't be able to see us from outside. And then they positioned John English just behind this wall so he could hear. He had to sit there quietly. And then the rest of the lawmen went to a spot a bit further away from the action, took off their shoes and laid in wait. I think they took off their shoes.
Out of respect.
Out of respect. Yeah.
Was Lincoln wearing shoes?
Yeah.
Didn't
He's famous
think
for
so.
a top hat, not a bottom shoe.
Nah. Barefoot.
If you look down, he's wearing a 6-foot shoe. He's actually not a very tall man at all.
Yeah, it's all symmetrical.
He's all shoe.
Yeah, the man's all shoe. He's a hat sandwich, that man. So yeah, I assume they took the shoes off to they'd be quiet when they charged in.
Much like when you get home at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to charge into bed.
Don't worry. I'll sneak in. They'll never hear me.
Yeah. Got no shoes on, but I have punched a hole in the wall and kicked the door in.
Shh, I'm sneaking in. So they were waiting on two signals, one from English to say that they were in the tomb, they were making noise. As soon as he heard any noise in there, he was meant
was
to
he
get
hearing?
Yeah. If you hear any ghosts, anything cool like that, let us know.
Let us know. Flash your light. That'd be sick.
We're mainly here to arrest them, but we've also got a team from Ghost Snatchers. It's a Foxtel show, and they're going to come in and try and see what we can get. If there's any orbs of light or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that was one signal. The other signal they were waiting for was Swaggles was going to go out and apparently light up a cigar, and that would signal to them that they were in and they're actually opening the coffin itself, I think.
So they're about to break in and say, sorry, guys, I just got to go out the front with a celebratory cigar. I'll leave you to it.
This is just an old tradition. As you know, I coffin snatch all the time.
All the time.
This is just a thing I do for luck.
Yeah.
Have a cigar midway through.
I was like, you want me to do this? If I don't do this, who knows what will happen?
Yeah.
Obviously, as the most experienced coffin snatcher here, I don't want to get on the tools. I'm more of an overseer.
Yeah, exactly. My days of being on the tools are over.
Yeah.
I'm more of a manager now.
That's right. I'm a consultant.
Yeah.
They basically just to make the conviction easier, they wanted to catch him right in the middle of the act. So over 2 hours of waiting, sitting there quietly
without shoes on.
Without shoes. They waited, and then around 9 p.m., Jacques Hughes, Mullen, and Swaggles arrived ready to snatch a president.
Which one?
Oh, specifically Lincoln.
Okay, but they would have taken whatever they could get.
Yeah. I know this is the Lincoln Memorial or whatever.
If Thomas Jefferson walked past, they would have grabbed him.
We'll take him. We'll take whoever the current one is, whatever. According to Robertson, Hughes and Mullen, that's Jacques Hughes, and Mullen began to, and I like to, it's not, but I like to think Chris Mullen, the flat-topped three-point specialist from the Golden State Warriors in the 90s. That's who I'm picturing.
Sure.
I don't think he looked like that.
Uh-huh. But that's who's in your head.
In my head, he's that. Yeah. Jacques Hughes is a concept.
Okay.
In my
he's
head.
kind of just a blob.
Yeah. But they're actually, just olden days looking bearded men. So Hughes and Mullen, they start cutting through the padlock on the door to the burial chamber. Luckily, they'd brought a professional burglar's saw, which is obviously something you can get at Bunnings. But Mullen, who had no experience with it, broke it immediately.
Good.
So instead, he had to slowly wear away the lock with a small file. Just luckily, he had a nail file on him. And he's,
God, it takes forever. I think he's slowly wear it away with his teeth.
yeah.
Sorry, Matt. So we just heard one of the 1,000 noises.
Oh.
Sorry, we've got to number that. What was that one?
Which one was it?
It was
Sometimes I do them without thinking.
with a nail file.
Yeah, small nail file on a presidential tomb's lock.
Yeah, that's 333.
Wow.
Wow.
Can we actually hear what was the big professional saw that broke?
Oh.
What did that sound like?
Oh, it's such a shame because it happens way more quicker. It goes
Way more quicker.
Jess, can you put that into English? Johnny
Quicker.
English. Quicker. It happened quicker. 3 words. You turn 3 into 1.
Yeah, that's why my reports go for an hour.
Yeah.
Yours go for 6.
So the big professional. And the other reason is you two make me dance like a monkey.
And when you try to do that to me, I say no.
No, that's right. Moving on.
You say we don't have time for that.
And that's the lesson.
The professional one. Very quickly, it happens. It goes. So it's just one and done.
Wow.
That's a
That's quite a
powerful
difference,
saw.
yeah.
Powerful saw, yeah.
But you'd be furious, wouldn't you, if that happened?
Yeah.
Especially if you were Jacques Hughes standing next to me going, man, what the hell? You broke a saw?
Yeah.
It's a professional grade burglar saw. How'd you break it so easy?
Don't worry, I've got a Swiss Army knife. There's a small little file on it.
Yeah.
Just give us about 3 weeks. I'll get through
It
this
should
thing.
be fine.
Fine.
And in the meantime, Johnny English is there with his ear against the wall and he's listening to it all. And apparently he reported back to the others saying, they're in there. I can hear the sounds of filing and also muffled but heartfelt cursing. Frick. Just come on. Frick. Shit. That's such a beautifully described. You know exactly. Muffled but heartfelt cursing is so
If you
good.
hear your dad making that noise in the shed, you do not approach.
Do it again.
I imagine it's
You
making.
sound like Gollum.
I haven't seen that, but. So they've got one of the signals. They got the one from Johnny English, but they haven't got the one from Swaggles.
It's the longest cigar of his life.
He's like, well, the problem is, that's the main one they're waiting for because that means they've broken in the sarcophagus, and that was when they were going to arrest him. But unfortunately, once he got in and he was working with them, the other two are like, we need you to hold the lantern. He's like, oh, okay. So I don't know what the plan was otherwise. They can't do it in the dark.
Why wouldn't you just be like, guys, I'm desperate for a piss.
Oh, yeah,
Hang
that's
on one
good.
sec. I'm just going to pop outside. And they'll be like, just piss here.
Piss
Like,
here,
well,
piss on
that's
the president.
disrespectful of the president. And I can't. I get stage fright.
Yeah, in front of presidents.
So I've got to go outside to piss. Won't be long. That's what I'd do.
Man, you could have... What you do for me, you could have done for Swaggles.
Yeah.
You could have made life a lot easier for
I
him.
make life easier for so many
Yeah,
people.
Spaggle's got to stand up for himself. Though.
Yeah.
Hold this. Oh, okay.
Come on, Swaggles.
So he felt like he was stuck there, holding the lantern. And also a lantern, just leaning against the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, mate.
Anyway, Robertson says this is how she describes their process of getting into the sarcophagus. They lifted off the ornamental marble cover and gingerly leaned it against the crypt in the back wall. But the inner lid wouldn't budge. Mullen snatched up a sledgehammer and was about to swing it when Swaggles grabbed his arm and said, man, the custodian might be around. We can't just start smacking through. So he luckily brought it down because Swaggles was also like, I don't want you to actually break this, the president's coffin.
Whoa, what are you doing? Breaking the president's coffin?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa. That might be loud.
Yeah.
Do it in a quiet way. Get the file out again.
Yeah, that's why. That's my problem.
Yep.
The noise.
Noise. Then they discovered that the inner lid was secured by several copper dowels, which they quickly removed. Then they balanced it crosswise across the foot of the sarcophagus, removed the piece at its head, and slid Lincoln's cedar-covered lead coffin partway out. Now it was time for Sweggles to bring up the wagon that Mullen and Hughes still believed was waiting at the foot of the Monument Hill, which obviously it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, I got to go do the signal to the bad guys, not the good guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, why would I be doing a signal to... And I wouldn't even think of
bad
the
and
cops
good.
as
Like I just
good,
think, the cops are the bad guys.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to do the signal to the good guys.
Us.
Billy Brown.
Billy Brown.
Billy Brown.
Got to bring the thing up. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Also, I'm going to have a little puff on this cigar on the way down.
So he's about to leave, and Mullen said, "Wait, before you go,
I love you.
I love you."
I know you're a cop, but I love you.
Kisses him on the cheek. I can't believe you did this to me, but I love you. He said, when you get back, give the whistle. Otherwise, you're liable to get hurt. We might fire at you thinking it was somebody else. We're not going to let anyone come monkeying around here.
Oh, wow.
So it's sort of...
So if they storm in, all hell will break loose.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yes.
What whistle?
Oh, imagine if you couldn't whistle.
Because it's got to be a whisper whistle.
Yeah.
Because if you can't just loudly whistle.
And you were doing it then, but Dave rudely talked over you. What's a whisper whistle? A lot of inhale.
Yeah, it's mainly in. Mm-hmm. It's like in guitar, it's like up picking.
Yeah.
It's the same for whistling. In sucking. As opposed to out sucking.
Yeah. Whistling is all that suck and blow.
I really hate to have to dumb it down for you guys, but... Sweggles was already meant to have given the signal to Tyrrell, but he got stuck unexpectedly. Couldn't get out to light a cigar, but now he had his chance. So he's like, all right, going down to the wagon. And then once he got into darkness, he doubled back to signal to Tyrrell that it was go time.
And did he signal with a cigar?
I would say reports differ.
Oh, okay.
But he got the signal. One of them, it sounds like he went and he just literally went up to him and said, yeah, it's now. Go.
We're waiting for the signal.
We're waiting for the signal. Where's the cigar?
Treat yourself.
You've done so good.
So finally, having received the signal, Tyrrell and the other shoeless men drew their guns and ran for the tomb. Unfortunately, though, one of the men, depending on who you read, according to Robertson, it was Detective McGinn. According to Turner, it was George Hay, two of the Pinkerton detectives. Mm-hmm. Either way, one of the men had an old-fashioned gun that went off accidentally, breaking the nighttime silence. And also their surprise was gone because
there's a gun going off.
There's a gun going off. Back to Robertson.
Wait, it's okay. It might just be a horse backfiring. Just wait.
Could be fireworks.
That could be Billy Brown's horse backfiring.
It's okay.
Wait, is Billy Brown's horse rocket powered? Maybe he's just lit the NAS or the NOS.
You hit the NOS on the horse. The horse NOS.
Horse NOS. That was just putting coke up the horse's nostril.
Have a go at that.
I have a go at that. And then to slow the horse down, you injected heroin. That's how it got the name horse. Back to Robertson. Afraid the noise had alerted the robbers, Tyrrell burst into the pitch dark burial chamber alone and, revolver in hand, called for the thieves to surrender. He couldn't see, but he's like, oi, hands up, you're busted.
So he's the one that's been waiting this whole time.
Yes, he's the leader of the...
Wow.
Yep. He's like, I've heard a gun go off, fuck it. Everyone, on the ground.
Yes. There's no answer.
He can't see anything.
He can't see anything, so he strikes a match. He can see the sarcophagus is still there, broken, but still there. But he was dismayed to find that, quote, no fiend was there. It was empty. He dashed back to Memorial Hall and told the custodian, J.C. Power, to bring lanterns. Pausing only to put on his shoes, he ran to the southwest stairs of the terrace, thinking that the thieves might have gone up there to await the wagon. The moon was about to rise, and seeing the outlines of two men on the northwest corner of the terrace, some 70 feet away, he opened fire. So he sees them 70 feet away and
starts shooting
at him.
When you say no fiend was there, as in the criminals aren't there, but was the body still intact?
Body was still there.
Okay,
they hadn't got all the way in through the sarcophagus.
But they've just
it was partially broken.
Made a break for it kind of thing. Yep.
Whoa.
They heard the gunshot.
And they took off.
But he sees them and he starts... or he sees their silhouette, starts firing at him. The targets fire back as they continue to dash. Tyrrell ran to the southeast corner where he and the two men exchanged shots. Then all three ran back to their original corners. Tyrrell shouted down to Washburn, "Chief, we have the devils up here," and called for his men to come up as backup. From across the dark terrace, someone called, "Tyrrell, is that you?" Tyrrell ignored it, for he knew that one of the crooks, Jacques, knew his voice. The same man called again, "Tyrrell, for God's sake, answer, is that you shooting us?" This time, Tyrrell recognized the voice as Detective McGinn's. Three of the lawmen had been shooting at each other.
Oh no. Oh.
Yep. Okay.
No one really comes out looking good.
You think you'd say, "Tyrrell, is that you? It's McGinn's."
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
McGinn's.
Certainly not the criminal.
Yeah, good try. They all know my name. No, seriously, is it you? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. In the meantime, Hughes and Mullen had already made their escape.
Wow.
According to Robertson, they had gone to wait for the wagon under a small oak tree 100 feet away. This is even before that gunshot rang out. They're like, we're going to, I guess, wait for the wagon. Then the four of them go up and carry the coffin down. When the detectives rounded the corner, so they start charging in, the gunshot goes off. Hughes and Mullen had already started walking forward, thinking that the two men were Sweggles and Billy Brown. But then they got within 30 feet and realised they were not looking at two men, but a small crowd. Then they overheard enough to convince them that the figures were lawmen. Then they turned and fled. They had already cleared the cemetery grounds when the sound of shots reached them.
Whoa.
And that shootout was... So it was a bad night for Tyrrell. Not only had the thieves escaped, but only great good fortune had kept his men from killing one another. That would have been the only thing. Like, it's pretty shambolic as it was.
Yeah.
And embarrassing, but it would have been a disaster if he'd gone up and his crew killed each other.
Yeah.
You know, imagine if they all... Yeah.
Yeah.
He later said, "It was one of the most unfortunate nights I've ever experienced, yet God protected us in doing right." J.C. Power, the monument's custodian, later wrote that in his view, it had all turned out for the best, the fact that they'd already fled. He said, "If Tyrrell had found them in the burial chamber, entering the door as he did, they could and would have seen him and shot him before he could have learned which of the dark corners they were in."
Yeah.
So he couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
So if he did actually disturb them, he probably would have been taken out.
Yeah, immediately.
Still, Tyrrell had to put up with some very painful abuse in the nation's newspapers. Some suggested that the whole fiasco had been a phony drama enacted to get Washburn enough publicity to secure him the job of Chicago police chief. So the conspiracy theories came out straight away. Others seem to think that Detective McGinn or Hay, depending on who you read, had set off the pistol on purpose to warn the thieves, like the Pinkerton detective. Some were saying
it was an accidental shot.
Yeah. According to Turner, these sensational events did not gain immediate national attention as they would today. This was partially because no winner had been decided in the presidential contest. And I still don't know who won this because I haven't heard of either of these guys. Rutherford Hayes and Samuel Tilden. Any of those ring a bell?
Rutherford B. Hayes, I think. B. Hayes.
Rutherford B. Hayes. Oh, B. Hayes.
19th US president, Rutherford B. Hayes. Ooh. Saucy, 19th.
B. Hayes.
87 to 81.
Yeah, there you go. Jeez, you've got a good memory of American presidents. I only know the big ones. Bush. Clinton. Lincoln. B. Johnson. Mm-hmm. Are there any others?
Obama. Trump.
The current guy. Actually, I know quite a few.
Yeah, look at you go.
And Andrew Jackson.
That's basically all of them.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yep.
So yeah, the news of the close election race meant that all other news was sort of forgotten about for a little while. Some accounts accused Washburn of looking for a more important job for himself. That was what they're saying, he set it up just to look good. Mm. And if that was the case, it backfired.
How embarrassing. Mm.
Others thought that the Democrats or Republicans had concocted the tale to help their candidate achieve victory, like either of them.
Yeah.
Oh, this is clear. sort of dodginess from the Republicans or Democrats who are trying to get. What's the tactic there?
If it's not clear which party it is,
Yeah, I don't really
think it
understand.
hasn't worked.
There was also some criticism of the Secret Service for knowing about the plot and allowing Hughes and Mullen to escape the cemetery. Which, yeah, I mean, that feels like that is pretty embarrassing.
Yeah,
But, things went wrong.
that happens.
They were
What?
figuring it out as they went.
What, general public? You've never made mistakes?
Yeah.
You've never had a whoopsie?
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Come on. Guys, let's get together. I'm losing my fucking mind.
It's really warm in
It
here.
is warm in here. This is
Losing
like
my
the old
mind.
school.
I know.
And you're wearing a sweater around your shoulders
I feel-
like you're from a fraternity.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like you're
Or
on a
polo
yacht.
club
I'm a
or
private
something.
schoolboy. I've got boat shoes on too.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And daddy's credit card. Yeah, I'm struggling to keep my eyes open.
Oh, we're getting close to the end here. Don't worry about that. I don't want to say it like that. So
I don't know either, but I loved it.
yeah, it felt pretty embarrassing. Anyway, back to Robertson. Hughes and Mullen arrived at dawn at a farmhouse. So they've fled. They've got away. They're about 7 miles northeast of Springfield. They asked anxiously to the farmer if any strange men had been noticed in the neighborhood, and the farmer said that he hadn't seen anyone. The pair bought breakfast from the farmer, then went to the farm of Hughes' father near Loder in Illinois, where Hughes stayed, while Mullen returned to his familiar spot behind the bar at the hub. He just went straight back to work. Thinking, I guess.
No one will think to look for me here.
Yeah. Swaggles went back to the bar as well, telling Mullen that he also just narrowly escaped the lawman.
Oh, that's a bit brave.
Isn't that brazen, right?
Yeah.
A week or so later, and he went back to being a regular at the pub. So Mullen would have slowly been like, I guess no harm, no foul. Week or so later, on November the 17th, Jacques Hughes came back to the bar also. So the gang's back together, including Swaggles, who they don't realise still is
An informant.
an informer. Swaggles continued to keep Tyrrell abreast of the situation, and a warrant was obtained by the Chicago police officer Dennis Sims. According to Robertson, Sims, along with Tyrrell, McGinn, and Washburn, at last performed the satisfying task of arresting and handcuffing Hughes and Mullen and carting them off to Chicago's Central Police Station. The next day, they were taken to Springfield, where they were identified by several witnesses. 2 days after that, on November the 20th, 1876, Hughes and Mullen were indicted. At that time, there was no law in Illinois to cover grave robbing, so the charge was that they, quote, did unlawfully and feloniously attempt to steal, take, and carry away certain personal goods and property, to wit, one casket, otherwise called a coffin, the personal goods and property of the National Lincoln Monument Association, against the peace and dignity of the people of the state of Illinois. The value of the coffin was $75. So they were,
Was that 75-year sentence?
So that's what Robertson said happened. But according to Turner, most accounts state that authorities discovered to their surprise that there was no law against grave robbing in Illinois. Therefore, they had to rely on conspiracy and theft charges. This was not true, and there was an Illinois law against grave robbing. The real issue was that grave robbery only carried a maximum 1-year sentence, and the conspiracy charges provided for a longer prison term. The sentence would also be served at the state penitentiary, where the prisoners could be put to hard labor. So basically, he's saying, no, well, that's not actually true. They got done for different crimes because they could get a harsher penalty this way. Hughes and Mullen continued their bumbling ways during the trial. Several individuals, including Hughes' sister Bridget, came forward to put up a, quote, straw bail for their release, the practice of pledging property they did not own to make good on a bail default. So they're saying, oh, we'll put up that house. Yeah, that's one of my houses. The one down the road. That's one of mine. Put that up. I'll put that up.
I got
No
heaps.
worries. Yeah, I got heaps.
That's
The
right.
one next door to that, either side.
Take them all.
I got this whole suburb,
Yeah, so I'll put the suburb up if that'll do.
if that helps.
Apparently the sister and a number of other straw bailers were arrested for doing so. And the duo also wrote letters to a friend requesting that he provide a false alibi. The letters were intercepted and read into the court record, creating a very negative impression with the jury. There is little wonder that the two men were convicted, although after the trial, the jury wrote a letter demanding the indictment of Swaggles, suggesting that he should be sentenced to 3 years in prison, as they believed that he was the gang's ringleader, which is bizarre.
Hang on, Swaggles, the
informant.
undercover cop.
Yeah. The jury's like, we think he's
the worst.
Yeah.
Can they do that?
No, I don't think anything came of it.
Oh,
But it was he wasn't on trial.
if I was the judge, I'd be like...
He's the only reason that we're...
Yeah, if I was the judge, I'd be like, have you listened to anything that's happened? Do you know who that is?
I think maybe we need a new jury. These people
go
are idiots.
again.
All right. Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Do you want to just out that door? Out that. So it's a pull. It's a pull door.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't get out.
So they both got done, and they had to do hard labour. And after that, Hughes apparently disappeared without a trace. Mullen, however, surfaced again. On April the 21st, 1888, he was found guilty in Donna Ana County, New Mexico, of conspiracy in a land fraud case and was given 3 years in the New Mexico State Penitentiary and a fine of $1,000, and he served that sentence in full. The mastermind behind the plot, Big Jim, he fell on hard times in 1880. So it seems like he sort of maybe... I'm not sure, but...
Because he wasn't there, I guess.
He wasn't there,
get
maybe,
him.
yeah. Or they did. Either way, he's dead now. But apparently he eventually broke his own rule against getting within touching distance of counterfeit money and was arrested in St. Louis. St. Louis or St. Louis? I always forget that.
Louis.
St. Louis for dealing in and being in possession of bogus $10 notes. After much legal delay, he was sentenced to serve 1 year in the Illinois State Penitentiary. Still the home of his old friend, Ben Boyd. So the whole point of it was to get him out.
Get Ben Boyd.
And in the end, they're serving time together.
Well, that's nice.
Ben.
Yeah.
Ben, I'm here to get you out.
At least part of it was,
Right in the room
I
next
want
door.
Ben back.
Yeah.
No, you got Ben back.
That's right.
That's nice.
Maybe that was his long game, long
Yeah.
plan all along.
I just want to be with Ben.
I just want to be with Ben.
That's
So,
nice.
I mean, as if we're ever going to steal a body successfully. I just want to be with Ben.
Just want to be with Ben.
And I knew that, Ben wouldn't respect me unless I got in here for doing something big. It's like an old romantic comedy. It's the big romantic gesture.
Yeah.
It's his version of holding the boombox above his
That's
head.
right. Running out into the pitch.
Yeah.
Holding Abe's body above his head. I love you.
In the rain.
I've
I
always
love
loved you.
Finally, let's just talk about what ended up happening to Lincoln's body.
Oh, yeah.
So according to Turner, his family and friends after this wished to guard against future threats to Lincoln's coffin. So in 1880, Lincoln was secretly reburied in the tomb's interior. They never know to look there in the same tomb. But I guess it's quite big. And it had to be moved several times due to the tomb's deterioration and high water table. So they had to move it around a bit.
Wow.
But there was this group of, I think they were locals, and they all swore to secrecy on where it would be, and they kept that secret forever. The real Secret Service of these guys. Then when Mary Lincoln, his wife, died in 1882, she was also secretly buried beside her husband. In 1901, Robert Lincoln finally settled on a plan for the permanent reburial of his father. Robert, who had worked for the Pullman Company and ultimately became its president, was well aware of the extraordinary measures that had been taken by the Pullman family to secure the remains of George Pullman, the head of the Pullman Company, obviously. And they buried him very securely because they were worried about desecration by disgruntled employees.
Oh,
so
shit.
that's a good place of
Beautiful
work.
culture. I don't want any of these employees to dig me up and shit on me. Okay, then maybe you could probably do something about that now while you're alive.
So that's what basically Robert Lincoln copied what the Pullman family did, burying Lincoln, his dad, in a huge deep grave, then adding a steel protector in place, and then pouring tons of concrete on top. So basically, in the end, he was buried like he was a mafia victim.
Yeah. They'll never find you now, Dad.
Yeah, that's right. They'll never be able to take you. Thus ends my report into the plot to steal Abraham Lincoln's body.
Great work. Blockbuster Toba. Approved. Appropriate.
Approved.
Well, is that so? You wait till the end of every block episode before you say whether or not the public was correct, don't you?
No. It's just some topics like you go Blockbuster Toba, you hear it and you go, of course that's one. That's a big. How have we never covered that? But this is a more obscure topic that I don't know of you guys. I'd never heard of it before.
I've never heard of it.
Then
either,
I go, yep, they chose good. That
yeah,
was fun.
they did well.
And I couldn't imagine. I'm sure you'll post on the social media, Matt. But the Lincoln's tomb in Springfield, I couldn't imagine what it looked like. It is quite big, but then I've noticed that they've got a face of Abraham Lincoln there, and it's one of those things where people have clearly rubbed his nose for luck so much that he's got this big honker that's like
Is that what happened to the Sphinx?
it's all shiny. Yeah, they rubbed it off for luck. So he's got this really funny looking nose.
Yeah, it looks like he's an Australian cricketer with a bit of zinc on his nose.
Yeah, ready for summer. But yeah, incredible looking tomb. I can see how you could be in there and not see someone else. And it was completely
apparently
dark.
in the dark. It was a bit of a maze as well. But yeah, a lot of the families now buried in there as well.
Oh, how cool!
And it's even though the town really wanted it in the center of town, worried that if it's on the outskirts, it wouldn't be as good for tourism. Apparently, that is still the biggest tourist attraction.
Yeah, fair.
Right, I probably the town's expanded over time, and now that is the middle of town.
Yeah, that's how it tends to go, isn't it?
And they wanted to put that on a roundabout.
Oh,
But according to bridal
Bridal hire cars.
bridal dresses, bridal party, car hire. Jeez. And I would. They'd be my phone a friend if I was ever on Who Wants to Be a
I
Millionaire.
agree.
Quick, call the good people at Bridal Car Hire. Eddie, put them on. Put them on.
Eddie, put him on.
Eddie,
get him
call
on.
them.
Eddie, come on.
Are you calling them?
And your dad never got to that point, did he? He was out, on the first
No, he was
question?
in the hot seat edition with no phone of friends.
Okay.
No phone of friends. No, it wasn't the first question.
He, honestly, it's a shame. The hot seat thing's fun because it's a bit more movement and whatever. But the old school one was, it was like test match cricket versus a 2020.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
The real stuff.
The
versus,
real stuff.
This new crap to get all the kids watching.
Yes.
Whatever.
Let's get your dad on the classic version.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Phone a friend, bridal car hire will be available.
You've got to be the phone a friend for certain categories.
I imagine that these days it's like, hi, Dad. Yes, I'm just here on google.com. Can you just read the question out to me again?
Nice and slow for me, please, Dad.
Nice and slow.
But you do it straight into a voice recognition thing.
Hello, the answer to the question is...
Yeah.
Hello.
That says, sorry, can you repeat? Man, I've been trying to get my voice thing to play a Cold Chisel song, and it just can't do it.
Wow.
Like, play Belle of Versailles by Cold Chisel. Playing Bells Will Ring by Jiminy Crickets. What? No, Belle of Versailles. How are you? Like, it exists. And then I say, play the album it's on, and then I go, skip track, skip track, skip track.
At that point, just do it yourself.
Oh my God, I never thought of that.
So make your life so much easier.
No, it's on one of those things that doesn't have... One of the things that's always listening and always planning to kill me. It's probably listening right now.
That's me. Always listening, always plotting.
Always plodding. Yeah, got her back. That feels good. Got her. Plodding, being slow.
You are closer and closer to death.
Well, I think... Am I wrong in saying this? That this brings us to everyone's favourite section of the show?
Yes.
Okay, thank God. Didn't want to speak out of turn. This is where we thank some of our fantastic Patreon supporters. If you want to get involved, go to patreon.com/dogoonpod. Do go on pod. And you can sign up on all these different levels. What are some of the levels, Bob?
The levels are like the rewards, right?
Yeah. So, I could give you a level. You tell them what the reward is.
Great.
Ask Prod level.
Ask Prod, you can get a shout out.
Dreamboat Cooper level.
You can get 3 bonus episodes a month.
Plus
and
the back
shout out,
catalogue.
and the back catalogue. Let me have a go.
Look, it's called giving you a hint. Do you not want one? Am I not your phone a friend?
No.
What about why am I doing it now?
Yeah.
I'm going for a snack, dear listener.
Having a little lolly. Sorry, candy.
What about the Sydney Scheinberg level?
Sydney Scheinberg level, well, baby, that's at that point you can vote on multiple episodes.
Yeah.
You can vote on the topics.
Heaps of them.
But you can also be in the Facebook group. You get access to early tickets, all sorts of great stuff over on patreon.com.
A lot of those are just on any level.
Yes.
So what a great place to be.
It's an unreal system.
So good. Patreon.com/DuGonePod. And the first thing we like to do for those who are signed up on the Sydney Schomburg level, we do a section that's called Fact, Quote or Question. It has a little jingle, goes something like this.
Fact, quote, or question. Ding.
He always remembers the ding. She always remembers the sing. And the way this one works is people on the Sydney Schomburg level get to give me, or above, get to give me a fact, a quote, or a question, or a brag, or a suggestion, or really whatever they like. And then I'll read them out for the first time on the show. They also get to give themselves a title. The first one this week comes from Brett Wall, a.k.a. Lord Emperor of Average-Sized Toes, except for one, but I'll never tell which. That feels like a real Dave Warnicky type.
I hope he's got a really big little toe.
You'll never know.
Or a really small
The
big
results
toe.
may surprise you. Brett Wall. I'm a finger toe man. I have toes like fingers, and that's why you'll never see me barefoot.
They're all phalanges, baby.
They're all phalanges. I love the langes. I do it for them. I don't know what you sound, but Brett Wall is offering us a brag.
Your fingers and toes are phalanges.
Ah,
The same thing.
really?
Yeah.
So it's like mini limbs are phalanges.
That's just like from a skeletal system point of view.
Right. So you've got, if your arm's a limb, your fingers are like the limbs of your, if your arm's the torso, your fingers are like the limbs of your arm.
That's right.
Yeah, I get you.
He nailed it once again.
So we've got a brag from Brett, and Brett's brag goes like this. You remember me?
You remember me?
Remember me? I was the biggest thing on the footy field. No, he says, you may remember me as the boy with a condom-eating dog from nearly 4 years ago. I do remember you. Your mum got me to do, or you got me to do a cameo video about it.
Oh.
I think your mum got me to do it and mentioned that, and also asked me to ask you to move out.
Wow.
If I'm remembering that right. Anyway.
What a way to do it.
We've changed his diet, and he's doing very well without all the latex. I think that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm not a dog expert, but that seems to make sense.
Seems like it's probably not good for them.
The reason I had become a Patreon then was because my dog had thrown the looby treat up in front of my mum on the floor, and I wanted to embarrass her by having the hosts of our favourite podcast make fun of the incident that most certainly was not ribbed for her pleasure. Last one, I promise.
Oh, my God.
This show has been a way for the two of us to bond since nearly the beginning, and I wanted to start by thanking the three of you for that. Sincerely, thank you. Hey, Brett, no worries.
Hey, you're welcome.
Hey, thanks, Brett. And hello to Brett's mum.
Hey, Brett's mum.
Hey, Brett's mum. My current favourite joke is calling her on the phone, sounding all panicked, saying, Mum, I don't know what to do. I keep getting this letter in the mail from the IRS. I'm really scared. What? What do you mean? What's it say? Then he says, it's asking what I'm doing for block. This joke has been a lot of fun for me. I also had a fun one with somebody following me around town, but I'm getting away from the point. My mum, Lisa, and I have shared this podcast. Hi, Lisa. And together for years. I've used it to embarrass her, and now I want to use it to congratulate her. She was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer nearly a year ago. And after surgery, a month of chemo, and countless scans and tests, we can now say she is 100% cancer-free.
Oh, fuck yeah, Lisa.
All right, Lisa.
My mum is truly my best friend, and I'm so grateful that we're going to be able to continue listening to Do Go On together. Thanks again for everything. Oh, my God. That was a roller coaster, but freaking hell, that is
so lovely. But
made me
stop giving
happy.
Lisa a heart attack. I've got a letter from the IRS. I'm being followed.
Anyway, how's the chemo going? Come
my
on, Brett.
Come on, Brett.
Come on, Brett.
Grow the fuck up, Brett.
I know. I mean,
I'm sick of it. I've had enough.
You've stopped feeding your dog dingers, but I think there's more growth to be had from you, Brett.
Yeah.
But I love your work, and I love a close family story like
Beautiful.
that. I love bringing the generations together.
Stoked to hear Lisa's doing well.
So good.
Best news.
Thank you so much, Brett. Next one comes from Paul Meller, aka the wonderfully excited and very lucky Mr. Meller.
So so nice.
That's so good.
That's so nice.
I love that. That sounds like a book that you might do on BookCheap.
It does, doesn't it?
And Paul's written, I'm not usually one to brag, but my 50th birthday trip to Australia has been booked, so I'm bragging to everyone. That's exciting. I'll be bringing my family over for 3 weeks over March and April next year. So I'm looking forward to come to some time in Melbourne and then driving around the state of Victoria. I'll be keeping an eye on on St Kilda's fixtures and the comedy festival too. So hopefully I have timed it so we can catch both. The Saints will definitely be playing by them, and the comedy festival will be on.
Yeah,
I think you've nailed it. Looking forward to getting to see some countryside too. Open to any suggestions of things to do over the Easter period if you have any. Well, it's a hectic long weekend here at all the sort of the classic. I know in Bright, where I like to go, that is the busiest weekend. I think you can go up there. So if you like being in a beautiful place with too many people.
Yeah. And average weather.
Yeah. Open to any suggestions. Keep up the great work, guys. Loving the pod and all the content you create. Cheers, Paul.
Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
You're the
Love you,
loveliest, Paul.
That's so exciting. So nice to have a big trip to look forward to.
What are we thinking about Comedy Festival? I'm going to be doing a split show, I think, with Seren Jayamana.
Great.
And we're still talking about whether or not we're going to do something at the festival, I think.
Well, yeah. At the time
I'm
of
sure
recording.
we'll do something.
Well, but yeah, we'll be there doing something.
Yeah.
We'll do something.
Just try and stop us, Paul. Although, if we don't, we could go to the footy with you.
Yeah.
Definitely keen on that too, Paul.
Love you, Paul.
Love you, Paul. The next one here comes from Nick Fidian, which is one of the great names. Oh, my God. Following on from the very lucky Mr. Mellor, Nick Fidian's called himself the luckiest man in the world.
Oh, wow.
That's a luck off.
Wow. It's a luck off?
It's a luck off. This is the
third
third brag.
Off.
This is the third brag in a row.
Okay.
Can you believe it? Oh, no, I've lost it.
We have to get out of this hot room.
Okay. Nick's brag writes, my brag is that, brackets assuming this has been timed correctly, close brackets, I've just got married.
Woo!
If this has been read out after the 28th of October, then I'm married to the wonderful Lucy. Oh, when is it? When's this episode coming out? I think it's before it.
I think it's just before.
Congratulations on the upcoming nuptials.
This one is going to come out on the...
I hope it's on the wedding day.
Oh, yeah. It comes out on the 18th.
18th. Fantastic. So...
Consider this podcast your Bucks party.
Here we go. Woo! My pants are off. Is that... Am I doing that right?
That's unrelated.
Okay.
That was
it's really hot in here.
It's quite warm.
Goes on to say, she's my best friend and I'm looking forward to spending the rest of our lives together. I won't gush too much here as I will be or will have be saving that for the speech. But I truly feel so lucky to know her and be able to call her my wife.
My wife.
Thank you for indulging me being very soppy, but I had to use this opportunity to brag about this. Nick, of course.
Not at all soppy. You could have increased the sop.
Yeah, I'm feeling dry here.
And I would like your next fact quarter question to be an update on how the wedding went.
Yeah.
Tell us the highlights. Be soppy.
Yeah.
Love is beautiful.
I'd love some gossip maybe about Auntie Faye or something.
What did Auntie Faye get up to?
What did she get up to? Can she be trusted?
A few too many shandies.
Yeah, love
Shoes
to hear
off.
that about Faye. Hopefully Uncle Bill behaved himself.
You know he didn't.
You know he didn't. He's a rat bag of the highest order.
Absolute rat bag.
Final one this week comes from Madeline Murray Baker. And Madeline Murray Baker is president of Porpoises with Purposes. A bit of fun. One of you wasn't here for that. That was on the...
I was here for that.
Jess was away.
Okay.
You were...
No, didn't you tell him how
to... Were you all with
I thought you told him that he didn't say porpoise properly.
I think...
Weren't you saying porpoise?
Yeah. You listened,
idiot.
but you weren't here. You were swimming with the piggies.
There you go. That's it. I would have listened.
Yeah. Like the mafia swim with the fishes.
You were swimming with the piggies.
The piggies. Sounded cutesier than I meant it to. It was meant to sound menacing.
No, but it was really cute.
It was too cute.
Swimming with piggies.
The Bahamas? Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait. You're going to do a report about that one day. Why are there pigs in the Bahamas? Anyway, the president of Porpoises with Purposes, Madeline Murray Baker, has a question. And the question is, What was your first email address?
Oh.
Mine was deannemudder11 at yahoo.com. It's German for your mother. I probably said it wrong then. And I thought it was very edgy. But also, it was already taken, so I had to add my lucky number at the end, because what's more lucky than being your mother?
Wow.
Love heart emoji.
That's true. My mum is lucky
To have you.
to have me.
I'm not sure if I remember this exactly, but I think my first email address was probably also Yahoo, and I think it was Matt Pride, and it's because I didn't understand emails, but I was at an underage local punk gig, and there was a sign-up sheet, and it was like your name and your email address, and I said, I don't have one of them.
God, you're old.
And the woman...
God, you're old.
The woman on the thing was also like, I was like 15, and she's like, really? Okay. Let's make you up one, and then you can sign it up when you get home.
She should have just gone, whatever.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, she talked me through it. I said, how much do they cost? And she said, they're free.
So was she like a live random name generator?
Yes.
She's like, all right, I'm thinking Matt Pride.
Yeah.
At yahoo.com.
Done. Sorted. You're
Next.
welcome. Can't wait to email you.
Yeah, it's a pretty good story there.
Wow.
But yeah, it's funny that they even had email addresses all those centuries ago.
What was yours, Dave?
Well, I know this because I had a whole bit about it in my stand-up show at the Comedy Festival this year. My first ever email, no, what a lie, was wiener@thebeach@hotmail.com.
That's good stuff.
Are people going to be able to see this show? Did you record the audio up in Brisbane?
Yes, haven't got a copy of it yet, though, so I wonder if I'll ever be able to release it.
But mate, you might be able to put it out online.
Yeah, I hope so. Recorded. I don't think I'll do it again, so that was the last time in Brisbane. But
That'd be cool. I love the idea of a comedy album. Everyone's filming them these days.
Nah.
yeah, and I put mine on vinyl.
Yes.
That's sick.
I would buy that
That is cool.
at a discount, at cost price.
Yeah, mates rates, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so wiener@thebeach@hotmail.com, which I made in 2001 in grade 5. I do not know what it means or why I picked that. Like, that's not a phrase that doesn't relate to anything. I can think of no pop culture thing.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny. My email was wiener@thebeach@hotmail.com.
Yeah, wiener.
Wiener.
Did you mean it like
Wiener dog?
Wiener
Or
dog?
sausage?
Or sausage or...
I like
Penis.
when you call someone a little wiener. Hey, piss off, wiener.
So that's penis.
Yeah.
Is that?
I think so.
Like if you're a little geek, you're a little wiener.
Wiener.
yeah.
know what I mean? Is that a-
Yeah,
is that
I
a
reckon.
penis?
I reckon. It's not sausage, is it?
Well, sausage is closer to penis than like a wimp.
Yeah.
Wimp. All right.
Anyway,
just while you're answering, I'm going to look up why does wiener mean wimp?
And Jess, your email?
One of my earliest ones was Jess the Great, like
Pretty good.
Alexander the Great.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty great.
Was this a Hotmail or Yahoo?
It was _16 at probably Hotmail, I think. I reckon.
Yeah, that were the big ones. Hotmail and Yahoo.
Yeah, and then
AOL.
Then Gmail came
and then
in.
parents got involved and got a big pond in Australia.
Yes.
At Telstra.com.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
Netspace. At
yeah,
Netspace.
Netspace.
My parents were with Netspace.
calling a person a wiener, i.e. a wimp or dork, can be considered mildly offensive. Okay, that doesn't really explain the origin though, does it? Dictionary.com. So disappointing.
More like Wiener Shanary.
Got 'em.
Got 'em.
Absolutely destroyed them.
Thank you so much for that question, Madeline. And to the braggers, Nick, Paul, and Brett. I mean, doesn't that sum things up? Madeline asks a question, wants to know about us, the three fellas. Brag, brag, brag. You know what I mean?
Me.
As
I got married.
As a feminist, I need to stand up and point out what I see. Okay? And I'm sorry. That's right. I'm a cuck. So what? I got a new one recently. What was it? Oh, someone called me online. Oh, I forget, but I got a new, version of that recently. Damn it. And they really let me have it. It was some newer version of cuck or whatever.
It's exciting.
Soy boy, you know?
Good for you.
Yeah. I'm glad that I'm still connecting. The next thing we like to do is shout out to a few of our other great Patreon supporters. Bob, you normally come up with a bit of a game based on the topic at hand. Any thoughts this week?
Whose grave are they robbing? No, probably not. Probably
okay. Yep.
not. Getaway vehicle? We've done that before, haven't we?
I like it though. Have we ever had a getaway horse before? This is fun.
Yeah, getaway vehicle.
Getaway vehicle. I like this. All
Getaway
right.
mode of transport.
Okay, fantastic. First up, if I can kick us off, I'm going to say thank you so much to this person from Ashfield, New South Wales, Australia, Nick Batley.
Komodo dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, getaway dragon.
Getaway
on
dragon.
Komodo
Getaway Komodo
Getaway
dragon.
dragon. No, not like that. No, come back. I want to get away on you. Sorry, I was referring to you. Jeez, this is going to cause issues
This
for
Komodo
Nick.
dragon's a fucking idiot. Ugh, why did I choose this idiot dragon?
This dragon is an...
I saw a Komodo dragon on my recent holiday. Not in the wild.
Where do you get your ideas from?
I don't know.
Where'd you see one?
At Hartley's. It's like a wildlife park type thing.
Cool.
Hartley's Crocodile and Adventures. It's fucking sick.
What were the adventures you did?
You go on a little boat and it goes around this little man-made lake and they feed the crocs and you get to see the crocs up close and it's really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Was the Komodo dragon moving around?
It was just sort of lying there in the sun looking cool.
Nice.
That was so cool. Anyway, check out Hartley's in far north Queensland.
Is it maybe like... Because they're like floppy? Is that why a wiener might be a wimp?
I think you got to move on.
But I choose not to. This is now my life's work. Thank you so much to Nick. I'd also love to thank from... Ooh, address unknown. Can only assume from deep within the fortress of the moles. I'd love to thank Joanna Toner.
Joanna
Oh my
Toner.
God, that's a great name and
Getting
fun to
a-
say. I'll give it a go, Jess.
Joanna Toner.
Joanna Toner.
Joanna Toner getting away on
Joanna
Joanna Toner.
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 getaway vehicle is a bag of Hot Wheels cars glued together.
Whoa! Hopefully all wheels down.
Otherwise,
Quite painful
Yeah.
and not that helpful. But if they're all wheels down, that is sick.
What if she's getting away down a snowy mountain? Then you want them probably upside down.
yeah, that's when you flip it.
Flip it. It's flippable. Joanna Toner.
Joanna Toner.
Hello, I'm Joanna Toner.
Joanna Toner.
Hello, I'm Joanna Toner. We don't know where Joanna Toner's from, so we can't get the accent
So we've done
right.
all three accents.
We've done the three big ones. To me, a garage is just a place you park your car. Joanna Toner. This is my attempt at South African. All right,
Is
and
that how you have to get into it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Someone said somewhere recently in a comment, I must have done South African accent. They said, we need more of that South African accent. So that was for you, whoever
Okay,
that
great.
was.
Yeah.
Oh, when I was in New York a couple of months ago.
Okay,
went to a-
la-di-da.
Oh, no, I'm a traveller, whatever. We're in line at a bookshop and we get to the front and the lady goes, oh, where are you from? And we said Australia. She goes, oh, my God. I love Australians. I do a great Australian accent. Listen.
Oh my God, they never do.
And then she goes, and
Some of them do.
These were her words to get into character. Like Matt just had his phrase there.
Yeah, what's hers?
She goes, razor blades,
That's good.
pizzeria. And then she goes, g'day, mate. It wasn't too bad, but razor blades,
Riser Blides.
pizzeria. That was her get-in phrase.
Because there is I think there's a trick where you read it out. You read out different words and it sounds like an Australian saying razor blades.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
Rise up lights.
Rise up lights. Rise up lights.
But you know how we always say pizzeria.
Pizzeria.
We do say
Oh,
pizza.
yeah, over here at the pizzeria.
Hey, you guys want to grab some grub? I'll meet you down at the pizzeria.
Pizzeria. The all-you-can-eat Pizza Hut pizzeria.
I love Italian cuisine
Oh.
down at the pizzeria.
Yeah, could I get mine with a lot down at the pizzeria? Get an egg on mine. That's Aussie style for some reason. Famous for our chicken eggs down here. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Joanna Toner.
Joanna Toner.
And finally, from Gulfview Heights in South Australia, it's Alicia Briggs.
Alicia Briggs.
Briggsy.
Get away on a jet ski.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's being towed by a tugboat.
Is there anything more badass than that? I can't think of something.
I can't either.
Well, then sorry to the next 6 people because the rest of these are going to be dog shit.
Well, they're not dogs. They're just not badass.
Not
They might be
badass.
sleek. They
They
might
could
be
be-
slender, but
they-
they're not badass.
They could still be badass.
Yeah.
Could I thank some people?
Absolutely.
I would love to thank from Alfredton in Victoria, Tessa Eichler.
Tessa Eichler.
Eichler.
Getting away on... Not razor blades, but roller blades.
Rollerblades.
And also in those rollerblades is Drazik from Heartbreak High. So you're getting a rollerblade piggyback from Drazik.
And you know where they're heading? The pizzeria.
The pizzeria.
Gonna have a couple of spiders at the pizzeria.
Thank you, Tessa. I would also like to thank, from address unknown, so we can only assume deep within the Fortress of the Moles, Josh Peters.
Josh Peters.
Matt, you're due for one.
He's looking at wiener stuff.
I am. This is according to etymology online. It comes from Vienna sausage, Wienerwurst, and it means ineffectual person or effeminate young man, originating in 1963. Pejorative sense via penis shape, or perhaps from weenie in the sense of small.
Oh, yeah, weenie. You're a little weenie.
Little
Yeah.
weenie. It's funny, like, penis shape.
Feminine.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
can quite connect the dots there, but
And Josh is getting away on a...
Wienermobile.
Wienermobile.
How does he get his ideas?
Wow.
It's baffling. I don't know how he works.
He crashed it into a shop.
This could have been anybody. Look, that guy's just like a hot dog. Oh, no.
That's good stuff. I just saw him. He was a special guest at the Detroit Lions game this week, and he was so stoked to be there. What's his name again?
Tim
Tim
Robinson.
Tim Robinson. And we are talking about his show.
I
think you should leave.
Yes. But yeah, so he was there, and he's like, he's just was so stoked to be on the sidelines, and they're like, how's it feel to be embraced by your team? He's like, honestly, it's the best. He was so stoked. I love
Wow,
watching
I'd
it.
be weirded out to see him be genuine.
I know it was fun. Love to see it.
Thank you to Josh. I would also finally like to thank, from Princess Anne in Maryland, Jay Palmer.
Jay Palmer. That's not a place. That's a woman.
Princess Anne? You live in Princess
You
Anne?
can't live in Princess Anne. Are you a fetus?
It's a town in Maryland, Princess Anne.
No, Jess, now you're falling down the same trap. It's not a town. It's a person.
It's Princess Anne in
Okay.
Maryland. What is going on here?
This is crazy.
Princess Anne in Maryland.
So what's Jay Palmer
Slide.
getaway slide?
Getaway slide.
A series of slides.
Yes.
That's good stuff.
Each, what, shorter than the last? Or is it taller? You got to keep going down.
What he does is, who is it?
Jay Palmer.
What they do is they specifically rob places with slides.
Right. McDonald's
Like Club
playgrounds.
Surreal in Hobart in the 2000s, which had a slide inside. So they'd rob the bar at the top.
Yeah.
They'd get a Maduri shaker. And then they'd slide down to the bottom level where the wacky pool tables that were in different shapes were. And then they'd get out from there, I guess.
That's good stuff.
That's all that I can remember from that place.
Dave, do you want to thank some people?
I'd love to thank this person is from Brooklyn in New York. It is Isaac Keltenko.
Have you been to New York, Dave, recently?
I have actually.
Insufferable.
Have you been to the borough of Brooklyn?
I drove through there.
You drove through New York.
Yes.
Bloody hell.
Wow.
Locals don't do that or do that. One of the two. or either.
And Isaac's getting away on...
Mr. Sheffield's limo.
Yes. Stuck in traffic, but in style.
Exactly. There's a bar back there and also a car phone.
Wow.
Whoa.
Imagine making a call in the car.
That's crazy.
They had the coolest aerials as car phones.
Yeah.
Little pigs. Little twirly antennas. Why are they so
Oh,
twirly?
yeah. Cute.
Thanks, Isaac. And now a big shout out to the Fortress of the Moles. We can only imagine that's where this person's from because they haven't given us their address. They don't trust us, but we trust them. Eddie Wilson.
Whoa.
Eddie Wilson.
Hi, Eddie.
Eddie
Cruise
Wilson
ship.
got away in a cruise ship.
Oh, that's good.
It was slow but luxurious.
And also all food included.
Yeah, all inclusive. And
There was
it's one of,
entertainment. Kirsty Weebeck was performing.
one of those ones that has like a couple of different nightclubs in it.
Yeah.
Actually, I just had a really good time. So good for Eddie.
But was it the Kiss Cruise, which I only just discovered that they every year did a Kiss Cruise?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? All Kiss, all the time.
They've become relatively common. There's a pop punk one, I think. And yeah, people spend huge dollars, go on and then there's concerts through the day.
I mean, could we get the podcast cruise happening?
No, we're going to it's not a cruise, it's a barge.
Yeah, the podcast barge.
I think we ever did it. If we ever wanted to make it, we could do a mini one on like one of those little Yarra River boats. They contacted me a couple of comedy festivals ago saying, you want a free ride to promote your show or something? I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. And then I forgot to get back.
What do you mean? How does it get promoted?
I don't know.
Free ride? Do you do like stand up while people are like trying to look at the sites?
I guess they just hoped that I'd put it out to my huge following.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they couldn't afford Jess, so they got you.
Yeah, they said the same to Jess, but they said 2 boats.
Yeah, I got 2 boats and I got to straddle. I got just
She's
one
a
foot on
straddler.
each.
Oh, Jean-Claude Van Damme style.
Yeah, it was fucking sick, actually.
Incredible. So thanks, Eddie Wilson. And finally from us, we'd like to thank this week, also from the Fortress of the Moles. Do you know this person? Their name is the Muffin Man.
Oh, dude, is the one down Drury Lane?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that might be right, but how would the Muffin Man get away?
Gumdrop buttons.
Gumdrop buttons.
Gumdrop buttons.
The Muffin Man.
Or riding a rat. A getaway rat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's getaway rat.
The Muffin Man from Address Unknown does not want to be known.
No. And I respect the hell out of that.
Me too.
So thank you.
But we take your muffin dollars and we say thank you.
Yeah, we say
They're
thank
delicious.
you. Thank you for those muffin dollars.
The Muffin Man. Thank you so much to you and Eddie, Isaac, Jay, Josh, Tessa, Alicia, Joanna, and Nick. And the final thing we need to do is welcome a few people into our Triptych Club, which Jess explains so elegantly.
Thank you.
And so concisely.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do it anymore. Look at me now. I'm just trying to throw it over to her and she would have done it by now.
God, you just don't shut up. So what it is...
And what I want you to do, Jess, is just as quick as you can, because, you know, time is money. Can you just please explain to the listeners what the Triptych Club is?
It's a club for people who have supported us
and
for
I
3
say
years.
Triptych, of course, but I know it's actually pronounced triptych. Dave gave us a bum steer and I've not been able to get
I
out of the
actually
habit.
don't think we need to correct ourselves. I'm happy. It's
happy.
our own thing. No one can
It's our
copyright that
thing.
because we created it.
Anyway, Dave, Jess was trying to talk.
Sorry, Jess.
I've already done it. I've explained what it is.
And
Awesome.
Dave, you normally book a band for the after party?
You're never going to believe it.
What?
I book huge acts, but they don't get much bigger. This week, dropping by Linkin Park.
Whoa!
Can you believe it?
It's funny going through the hat, trying to find everyone who suggested the topic with the search term Lincoln. And there's a lot of people from Lincoln Park and Lincoln, Nebraska and other Lincolns around America that I, like the search, I'm like, whoa, what is this? Like 90 people have suggested it, but so many of them were just addresses.
And they're suggesting something else.
Yeah. What's one of Linkin Park's big songs? Crawling?
In the End.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one?
And
Numb.
I'm about to break. Is that one of them? Well, that's probably in the end. Doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
In the
Nothing
end.
does.
So.
Hang on. I've prepared some food.
Oh, fantastic.
So I'm behind the bar. I've got drinks and food for you. I have prepared a selection of President Lincoln's favourite foods.
Oh, wow. What do you think what do you know he liked?
Well, he was fond of certain foods, especially apples.
He was fond of dew.
So
so
I
hot
have
in here. So hot.
fruits. I'm just going to persevere. Fruits, nuts, cheese, and crackers. His favourite dishes were chicken fricassee, which is just like a stew, and biscuits, or with biscuits, and oyster stew. And for dessert, apple pie. He loves apples.
I like apple
I really
pie.
wanted it to be apple stew, but the man loves his stew.
What do you think's inside an apple pie?
Stew.
Apple goo.
Apple goo. Apple stew. There's only one inductee this week. And everyone's dying to hear the immortal band, because one of them's dead, Linkin Park play.
That's right. But in our club, it's possible. They're
Yeah.
all back together.
That's
Yeah.
right. This is in the land of make-believe. And that's why it's one of the happiest places in the world, because anything's possible, as long as it's positive. And there's just one inductee this week. So I'm on the door. I'm gonna lift up the velvet rope. If you hear your name, jog on in. It's actually 2 names, and then Dave's gonna hype you up on stage with some of his powerful wordplay. Jess is gonna hype Dave up because he needs it. He's a sensitive soul, and the crowd will go wild, and then we'll finish the show up. So please Make welcome from Nuremberg in Deutschland. It's Anna and Lucas Spath.
They're just the tip of the Nuremberg. Go on in. Join us in the Spath bath. Like spa bath. Anna and Lucas.
You did it. The Spath bath.
The Spath bath.
Just for listeners, there's an umlaut in both Nuremberg and Spath. I hope I got close. Anyway, love that you're listening from Deutschland. Big fan. We're going to do a live show there soon. Dave was telling me we're doing it in Berlin. I don't know if we've booked a venue. I might be jumping the gun here, but just...
I think it's fine to make promises.
Check local guides. Check local guides.
Haven't mentioned it to Jess, but who cares?
Check your local guides.
Just keep your eyes peeled and do yourselves a favour. Jess, anything we've got to tell people before we go?
That we love them. That if you would like to suggest a topic, you can do so at dogoonpod.com, or there's a link in the show notes. And you can find us on all social media on dogoonpod. And wash your butt. Dave, boot at home.
Always wash your butt. Wise words there. Hey, Blockbuster Tober rolls on and rocks on. We are getting to the tip of the Nuremberg.
Oh my God.
If you know what I'm saying. We're so hot.
We're even losing Dave now.
We're going to get some air
God.
conditioning. But thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode. But until then, thank you so much and goodbye.
Later.